And welcome. This is Nuke Marine. This is the suggested guide for Japanese literacy. Currently it is the 23rd of January and it's 12:15 p.m. where I'm at. Nice bright sunny day here in Japan. Yesterday was not as good weather, but that's okay. I'm coming, now I skipped over the last 2 days on this weekend for a couple reasons. I said I was going to miss Sunday, just ended up missing out Saturday for personal reasons. What I did to make sure is that I went through my reviews, and except for this one right here, SGJL, for remembering the kanji part 2, I didn't do those reviews, but I caught up on the reviews for everything else. So hopefully I'll be able to get 2 lessons done. If not, depending on the speed at which this happens, maybe even 3 lessons within the next 3 hours or so. Anyway, that's the hopes anyway. For those that are, I can't show you right here, but if you go on, I want to say there is a gentleman who's doing Learn Japanese in a Year. I think if you do a search for that on YouTube, he's doing a weekly blog or something, maybe more than once weekly. But he's got his 3rd vlog up, video log up, and about his progress in learning Japanese. And I'm following him to see how well he's doing. I did an hour-long video in response to on his game plan for trying to get his proficient in Japanese as he can within a year's time, based on the fact that he's doing it as a hobby and in addition to what his actual normal day job is. So again, he's not a language student, although he has learned 2 or 3 languages to a proficient degree, at least according to his own self-assessment from what I've heard from him. So yeah, I always recommend checking that out. How he's doing is different than what I'm presenting it, but I do like the way he is doing it. The idea of trying to remove English from learning Japanese as much as possible, except for maybe that initial learning of like, okay, that way you've got there was obviously this talk about horse. It's not doing the, let's say it's not doing the Rosetta Stone method, which is trying to like do it all with pictures. Like, okay, hey, quickly, yeah, we're talking about horse here. Once you're familiar, that's what the picture is representing. Get rid of the English, and then you're only dealing with that picture of a horse, dealing in addition to either the kanji for horse or the kanji and pronunciation. Actually, it's going to be kanji and pronunciation for horse, which is what he's going to be doing. So he's kind of doing the steps he's trying to do is kind of fun. Learn hiragana, katakana first. I would have recommended he do it as I recommended, which is like I did with step with the memorize. Have about 2 or 3 words, actual Japanese words that use that pronunciation. If you don't know what those words are, you're just training your ear to listen and get used to repeating back. Okay, you didn't do that step, but that's fine. The part with learning primitives or radicals, again, very clever. I don't know if what he's going to do is going to work all that well. I mean, he's going to run it, especially because 75% is a very low coverage when it comes to kanji. Because it'd probably be better if he increases the number of radicals he learns. But it might be as he goes along, he'll realize, okay, hey, this kanji I'm learning has a new radical, so I'll learn that radical in addition to that kanji, and then also with that kanji I'll be learning vocabulary. So as long as he realizes that, okay, he keeps adding to his base of radicals, he should be fine. Similar with the kanji, again, as he runs into them, start learning them, as he's learning vocabulary, because he's going to learn the top 600 vocabulary words. And then the idea from that is like use those words in order to, again, try to use just Japanese to help learn Japanese. He's trying to force that, which is something a lot of people wait till they're like in N3 level or something, or even higher to, again, they go through, like all the resources I'm presenting, it's, leans heavily on English as for the instruction part of it. And if I had the ability, I would say, especially memorize makes it impossible, but again, if you could do it like he's doing it, that's very clever. Like, go through the deck I present, like download it, put it into Anki, or find the ones on Anki, and then, start replacing pictures. Do a search on Google. Hey, this picture, okay, good. All right, use these 2 or 3 pictures to represent the whatever that vocabulary is. And same thing with the sentence. Like, do a search on the English thing of the sentence, and then just use a picture. It kind of gives you an idea of what that sentence is trying to say, just for fun. Grammar is going to be a little, I think for grammar though, you have to kind of depend, especially at the beginning, you have to depend on English. Otherwise you're going to be playing a lot of games. It's going to be kind of more difficult. Yeah, now what you can do once you get past that M4 level is start using, there's a bunch of Japanese resources, and basically use Japanese to learn more complicated grammar. Once you've learned hopefully if you got good resources, I think like the Shinkansen Master is a good set for that. Alright, let me just verify the audio is working. Once you've learned Okay, that's good. And I think I talked enough about the gentleman's the gentleman's video. Because again, follow along, see how he's doing. And I'm looking forward to seeing how well he does. It'll be kind of interesting. And people are going to complain, like they always do. And then there'll be the group of people that if he's successful, let's say he actually gets at least an N3 level, which is pretty darn good for a year's time if you're just doing like an hour or two a day. Pretty damn good. People are just going to look at it and give every excuse as to why what he was doing has nothing to do with it. It was something else entirely. Oh, well, he's just natural at learning languages. It's not the fact that he's working hard and he got a good game plan. It was like something else entirely. He just visited Japanese restaurants every day. I've seen that before. People will dismiss any type of hard work and effort that dealt with people accomplishing something. Yeah, it's just interesting. But yeah, because his method is going to be, it requires hard work, but a lot of effort on the individual's part, which is something very difficult to present for people to do. It can be done, but maybe starting it off with Japanese may be a bad idea. He started off with like French, Italian, and maybe another European language, and then decided, okay, I'm going to move into Japanese. That's where the warning came in, because Japanese is way different than European languages. So that one part dealing with grammar, I kind of made a recommendation. Put grammar a little ahead of change his plan up a little and move into grammar right after learning those vocabulary words, those 600 vocabulary words. Okay, so let's see. I made a quick post here, and it's like 36 minutes, so there you go. I was 15 minutes late on that, as always. I did update on the Kohi. I put a weekly, I bumped that for the week. Same thing with Memrise, I bumped it for the week. I'll keep an eye on what new stuff. And I think on Mumble, yeah, same thing with Mumble, although they already talked past it, so it's all good. Alright, so I think with that out of the way, I think we can start. Already got my pen. Alright, so we got 60 reviews to do, then I'll be going into, should be lesson 52. Let's begin. Alright, shrink the screen down. Alrighty. Alright, so we got prolong. This is one I'm probably going to be, after prolonged workout, you want to drop, stop, and stretch. Prolong. Nobosu. And if I get it wrong, so be it. But yeah, it looks like you got it right. Curriculum. So that's on the cliff. That's on the cliff. Got the group of trees. They're supposed to be meant to stop you. That's sort of like the calendar to kind of stop you from jumping off or something like that. Curriculum. Rikishi is also part of history. So cliff, tree, surpass. So kind of think of like a running parade. So do running. Alright, and then you want to do surpass each other. So parade. So it's just something like that. I probably got it wrong. Surpass, koeru, kosu. Yeah, it's that right there. Yeah, it looks good. Oh, it's supposed to have that little hook there. Yeah. So right there, kind of like after you do the running, kind of do the hook, then do the rest. Alright. No big deal. Taylor. Okay, so that's the Taylor Thanksgiving. So remember, Thanksgiving is the plus sign right there, but then we want to do garments. Right there, and then we finish off the Thanksgiving. And that'll be a little hook right there. Well, doesn't matter. Okay, this is Sabaku Datsu. Yeah, there we are. Ford. So this is the ford of river, or ford of water. So it's when you water that you want to walk across. Okay. Shogai, right there. Hooked it back. Alright, to transcend something, koeru. Alright. has to do with running. I want to transcend. So see, like, not surpass, transcend. Gonna cheat. Let's see. Okay, so it is run. We got that. And mend. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Definitely got this wrong. So it's run and seduction. So transcend. Supposed to keep running and not be seduced by the idea of stopping or something. Shallow. So that's supposed to be water. That's supposed to be left over. That's supposed to be that's not remain. But that should be shallow instead of stuff that floats on top of shallow water. You can find stuff remaining on top. If it's in the deep ocean, you're not going to find stuff. Nativity. This same thing as age. Tanjobi. So this is the right here. So you want to make sure you stop. Wait, no, take back. That's it's supposed to be. This is like get the words. And yeah, I'm not thinking. I was thinking year's end. Nope, forgot what this is. Yep, there's the words. Prolonged. Prolonged pregnancy. Okay. Yeah, so that's supposed to be nativity or giving birth or something. Be born, descended. Yeah, it's right there. That was bad. I should. Yeah, that's probably the benefit of me writing it down as opposed to just going straight on to. Let's see, warrior. That should be one thing. There's the stop. This is the Bushido. Okay. Right there. Usually like one arrow's enough to stop a warrior. There's a cloud, so that's a kumori, so we want to do it's definitely rain based. And we want to do rising cloud right there. And then we have cloudy weather, it's put a sun above it. So it's cloud, kumo. Yeah, right there. Keep going. Let's see, that's 50. It took a little longer than it should have. Alright, got 50 left. Alright, politics, so politically correct taskmaster. So politics, there's a correct, and then we want to do the taskmaster. So it's politics. Seiji-ka. Okay, Seiji. There we go. Right there. And then taskmaster could be Indiana Jones. Build. Alright, so when you build something, you want to draw it out first. Draw it out with the brush. Right, and then stretch it out to the size of your real building. Tateru also means to stand up. Okay, that makes sense. To erect something. Sash. Okay, that's kind of like belt, but we want to do belt here. Okay, and then we want to do with the mini skirt right there. I think that should be it. Sash. Oh, obi. Yeah, obi. Yeah, it's right there. Yep. You can see. So the belt and the garment. Alright, that should be pretty obvious. That's just already seen that. Might be a little. That hook right there might be a little different. So koromu, right there. Garments. Don't confuse with clothing. Stagnate. So that's the same as sash, but when you stagnant or water. And if you're not sure about the words of it, you can keep. That's the benefit of the reviews here. You can like be delayed, overdue, arrears. So to stagnate, not stagnant water, which is usually associated with being bad water. So cry, you want to cry and fill up your tears in this little vase here. It's your cry jar, I guess. Cry me a river, build a bridge, get over it. Naku. Okay, here we have his attire. Oh yeah, that's it's the Ninja Warrior, or the turtles, and then of course attire. So we want to do there's the clothing or the garments associated with the Ninja Turtles. Attire dress. Okay. Right there. Hanging scroll. So I was going to say wealthy and towel. So I want to do wealth right here. You know, hanging scrolls. This is something, you know, about the wealth of what they own and everything. They put on little hanging towels that they hang around the house. Also, it's about width. So that's the thing right there, width of something. And it was backwards. So let me do that. Unscrew that. Okay, so I'm going to do the towel. You know, that. Just imagine the story a little bit different. So it's for about hanging scrolls, a towel that helps to display the wealth of the owner. Back. So this is the back side of someone. So you want to wear the top hat, and then of course the computer, then the scarf. So it's like I just think of an Android story, a little Android computer wearing clothing. Looked like, you know, looks normal from the back. There's bridge. That's Hashi. So that's heaven. Some people call it heaven high, but you know, bridge is obviously made out of tree. You know, and then I say the drunken. You know, there's the drunken. That's beer bong. Then the blind Jedi. If you want to drink in the beer bong. Bridge. Hashi. 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 Okay, that's good. That took about 3 minutes. Yeah, so I guess all these are going to be about 20 to 25 minutes to get all through all 60. It would be, again, it would be a lot faster if I wasn't writing. But you can kind of see by writing it, I can make sure about the position of the kanji. Not that that really matters. This is about literacy, not writing. Right now, this is like a lot of fun for me. So remove, that's the fingers of the babysitter. So that's the fingers, and the babysitter is the infant being brought up, you know, by the taskmaster. In this case, that's the babysitter, or Harrison Ford, maybe Indiana Jones. So remove right there. A lot, and that's the infant. You know, the infant factory. A lot's a couple of human legs per baby. You know, I don't want to get that off. You know, definitely want to have those available in the factory. Crumble. Okay, so this is the. Let's delete. Go to the next set of the ones. So this is the crumbling of the moon. Moon crumbles, but it doesn't matter because even when the moon crumbles, you'll still be friendship. Your companionship will still occur. If you want to keep a more poetic. There's also the mountain that crumbles underneath the Frodo and Bilbo Baggins, or Frodo and Sam. Let's see, charcoal. So that's the mountain again. So we got the mountain coming up here, and that's be a lot better than that. And then ashes. You know. That's good. Gun. Alright, so that's gun's made of metal, obviously, so you want to think of metal, and then you want to make sure you allot each gun with enough bullets to be effective. It can't just be about, you know, a gun without any bullets is scary. It's scary, but, you know, it's not as dangerous. Let's see. Boulder. The boulder is conflicted. I'm a mountain, but I'm also a stone. Right there. Poverty. Alright, so that's pieces of 8 again, so kind of like parts. And then you have an eighth, or if you want to think of that as being 1/8, you know, because we have quarter, and so that kind of makes sense if you can use that as eighth. Poverty. I just think about pieces of 8. 1/8. Right there. There's SpongeBob if you want to do it. Thorn. So that was the this is a tree that had the belt on it, and then the belt was, you know, think of it on its belt, it was like a bunch of saber-like thorns. It's a thorn. What is that supposed to be? Saseru, sasu, or to prick or stick. Abandon. Okay, so this is about the infant tied to the tree by a belt. Okay, so we want to think infant. We got there. We want to do belt buckle. Alright, so there's a belt buckle, and then here's a tree. So I think that should be abandoned. Let's see what we also have. Like to resign, discard. See if I did it right. Yeah, so there. Infant, belt buckle, and tree. Abandon, discard, reject. Current. Now this is current as in flow, water flow. So think of current. You always got that. Then we want to think of baby Moses going down the current. And there's Moses where it's got human legs, kind of like a lot, but this is river mixed in with human legs, so it becomes river or stream. Current. Right there. Okay, that's good. Another 3 minutes or so. Got 30 more to go. So about another 10 minutes left on the reviews. Party. Now this is a political party. Remember that. So political party is going to think about, you know, the outhouse, because think of all the bullshit, and then little human legs, a little walking toilet, just spouting shit and bullshit. Political party. Faction. Click. Let's see. Where are we at? This right here. Waves. So this is tsunami. This is tsunami. So again, there's the water. You're gonna think about that. Then we want to do pelt or felt. Okay, and then that's Mike Sully. So his felt waves looked like his fur looked like waves of water, since he was blue anyway. Gentle. So this is think of the gentle woman. She's very gentle. She has fingernails like bird claws, but again, she's very gentle with how she treats you. Gentle. Dato. Peace, depravity. Valve. Now again, this is mainly about its pronunciation values, but we got the elbow grease, and 2 hands can help turn a valve. But it has many different meanings, and mainly because of its he's using words for pronunciation of Ben. Contain. So think of container, but contain. So you want to contain stuff in a house. Let's see, we got 8 elbows. So a house is big enough to contain 8 elbows, and no, I'm wrong with that. It's not 8 elbows. It's 8 umbrellas, and then maybe turn upside down and contain stuff for. This is really house and valley. You know, the valley contains a lot of houses, but you also use that as Tupperware if you want a container. A contain form looks. Okay. House, valley, prize. Yeah, it's a bit more graphic. So it's like you're going to the bathroom, and every bathroom offers a surprise. In this case, though, you want to think of SpongeBob. So maybe there's a sponge in there. Oh, here's your prize. You get to clean up the bathroom when you're done. If you ever see a movie called No Time for Sergeants, there was a little bit about that. The guy was awarded with PLO, Permanent Latrine Orderly, which if you didn't know about the military, cleaning the bathrooms is like a punishment. It's not a reward. But he was supposed to be. He was Andy Griffith. He was supposed to be a Planet Hillbilly. I guess you can imagine with SpongeBob being treated that same way. Like Mr. Krabs rewarded SpongeBob with a prize with cleaning the bathroom, and SpongeBob is going to be really excited about that. You can work with it like that. That's a good story. Let's see. Prize. Plank. Okay, so that means plank of wood. So you want to think tree because you think plank of wood. Then you think of the protesters or the hippies. Not protesters, hippies that are surrounding around the tree, keep it from being turned into a plank of wood. Right there. What is that called anyway? Kanban. Yeah, that's the bond. Melt. Okay, so this is melt into a Tupperware container. So if you want to do water, so that obviously is melt. Okay, and you want to do container, which is house with 8 people, each umbrella and mouth if you want to, or a valley, house and valley. Melt. So that right there. So Tokasu Tokeru. Doth, the woman doth protest too much. So at the climax of the film of Indiana Jones, because at the end of it they always got to kiss or something, and then maybe he pulls that line on her. It's not really Shakespeare, but yeah, it's just the older version of due to sin forward cause. It's just the older version of Suru, I guess, Itasu. Secrecy. Okay, so not secret, but secrecy. So that was let's see. I think we were going to do a secrecy is in a house. I think we did invariably. and have to deal with insects. For some reason I think it's that. I don't know why. Let's see what we got here. Nope, it was mountain, not insect. Okay, I'm an idiot. Alright. Yeah, so usually secrecy of this house invariably... Oh yeah, that's right, because I was thinking of the mountain that was involved. Because there was Monsters Inc. That was right, secrecy of the Monsters Inc. Because there's the Randall of Monsters Inc. Or what I think of as Randall. Because of ooze or whatnot. Fair enough. And like I said, if again, you see me get it wrong, I'm just rewriting the kanji. I'm not like gonna purposely mark it wrong, because again, I visually am recognizing it. I just like the idea of writing it down now. Before I'd recommend, yeah, you don't have to do this. This is not a prerequisite. It's just fun. You know? Yeah. Climax or the peak. Proceed. There. Arrive, attain, result in. Pick. Toru. Pick. So, for some reason, okay, now you're obviously going to think of E.T. for pick. Now, what was I trying to think of? It's not throw away, because that's it. We want to pick, Alright, let's cheat. Oh, okay. Picking fruit. Okay, so I'm thinking pick fruit. So you want E.T.'s picking fruit, but also there's a bird picking fruit, or Roverto is also picking fruit from the same tree. And by the way, how I'm cheating, if you haven't noticed, is I look at this right here, which are the primitives, but they're in English. But because of that, I know that, again, it just, to me, it's almost cheating, because that's enough to give me what the story should be. So here's the leader. So this is again kind of like the Ninja Turtle, or the turtle that glued himself. Here's the bird. Let's see. Okay, so let me just do this right. So it's actually a big turtle, and wanted to get the power of flight to become the leader of turtles. So he glued himself to his back, put glue on his back, so that when the bird grabbed him, the bird couldn't drop him or let go anymore. So he became the leader of the turtles, maybe even leader of the birds. Who knows? Let's see, leader. And that's the shogun, shogi, some other stuff. Shodai. Let's see, floating. So floating, you're going to think of obviously as water, but now we're going to do duckling, so which is bird claw and kid. I just think of floating ducks, what do they call them? Fledglings. There you go, floating duck, baby ducks, floating. Ukabu, is that ukabu? Yeah, ukabu, ukaberu. Impart. So it's let's get the new one. So this is you can do this like imparting knowledge or wisdom in this case. So it's E.T. imparting, and this is like on the birdhouse. So there's right there, and there's the birdhouse along with the crotch. So it makes it into more of a birdhouse, a cat house, or house, whatever you want to say it. Imparting wisdom or knowledge. Fingers, how to use the fingers both on the clients and the employees. Let's see. There we are. Broaden, so that's the finger. Again, when you think of broaden, you're going to physically broaden the width, or the widening of the wide cave. Give it even more space, so you're going to broaden it. Let's see, kakudai. It's like a photograph, right? Kakudai? Or no, photocopy? Rain. Alright, so I think of the rain of Neptune. So, I'm going to think of water right there, and then pedestal. And what I'm going to think of as being his throne that he sits on. The reign of Neptune, or maybe it's an old statue that the pedestal is the only thing left. They found the pedestal of Neptune in his reign under the sea. There's slope. That's dirt that goes in the opposite direction, or anti-direction. So, or sorry, it's cliff and crotch. Or if you want to do hippies, a bunch of hippies on the slope, marching down the slope. Mutually, so that's the weird looking kanji. So you got the ceiling, got the little L, the little other one, then the floor. They mutually hold each other up. Tagai, let's see. Love is the answer. Alright, so that's Think of the story of Foghorn Leghorn. So there's the birdhouse for him, but he, see his heart is beating fast as a pair of walking legs, go by. You can also bring it up with story of love with Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Okay, that was 4 minutes, a little longer, but I missed one. That's right. All right, last bit. So this is all 60. The enemy. That's the. What is it supposed to be? Indiana Jones. I keep thinking Taskmaster and Antique. I feel like that should be backwards. So the enemy's always stealing the antiques of. Yeah, so it was first, yeah. There's the antiques being stolen right in front of Indiana Jones. Because that's happened right in the very first, that was like the very first part of the movie for Raiders of the Lost Ark. Let's see, stature, so that's the northern part of the body. Alright, so stature, think of north, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then of course there's the body, referring stature, your height, yeah. Height back, defy, go back on. Let's see right there. Stroke order is kind of a little bit different. Lungs, so that, again, part of the body. So we think of body parts if you want to. Right there. In this case, the lungs are the best thing to put on the market. All right, and there we want to say market. They sell fast. Good set of lungs. Maybe you want to think of like the transplant market, human transplant market. Compare, so that's the again, so sit on the ground, two people comparing 2 spoons of, or what you're eating or whatnot. Suitable, tiki-toll, so that's the antique roadshow. Think of suitable as, imagine the antique roadshow. So there's the antique. It's antique because it's old, and then of course you want to think of roadshow. There we go. Suitable. Tiki-toll. Tiki-toll day. Yep, right there. Whew. Agreement. So that's a footprint or stop sign on the moon. Or a footprint on the moon is a sign of the agreement between countries. That's how that gets accomplished. Just can't go at it alone anymore. It's just too expensive. Agreement. Vi. And that's the older. Alright, so. And this might be a little more distorted, but yeah, it's almost like a mirror image of each other. 2 brothers vying for attention in a race. Let's see, Seru. Yep. Cloudy weather, so that's again sun. To show it is cloudy weather, you need to involve the sun. There's the rain. There's the actual cloud, rising clouds of the cloudy weather. And that's kumoru. Kumoru. Demolition, so that's, think of dirt or dust. Think of after you demolish a building, you see that pile of dust, and then it's like stings people's in their eye. There's the needles in the eye. It also gets on their clothing. So right there, demolition. Some people say this X-ray. Yeah, little needles of the eye. And this is Kawasu, Kawareru. Arrival. Yeah, so that's the arrival of the cavalry. So it's always at the climax of a movie. They show up brandishing sabers, to save everybody. Where were they the first hour and a half of the movie? Arrival. Tochaku. There it is. Good. That should be everything there. I'm going to make sure I got some hot water ready for when I take a break. I'm going to want some coffee. Alright, so that was all 60 words. Let's see if we have enough. Cool. And let's get some water also. Alrighty, cool. Okay, I'm gonna get some coffee later at the break. Okay, so we are 35 minutes into the stream. Got a couple people are watching, and if you are watching again, feel free to make comments or whatnot if you're wanting to do that, or if you're not just passively listening. I don't think I need my earphones in for this. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's make this back to normal. Cool. And it's a new week, so looks like I'll be on top of that for a little bit. Let's go to levels. Let's see what we got. Alright, so we should be able to get this one done. I don't think I'll have to worry too much about reviews, so I'll definitely probably be able to get at least 2 reviews done. I'm not seeing 3. And that should be good. Like I said, that'll leave another, like 10 more lessons after that to be done with this course, and then moving on to grammar. Yeah. Let's see, I got RTK 52. Let me just add in RTK 53. Okay. Alright, so let's make sure we got rend. I think I've got everything already prepped, but just to make sure. Alright, so there's the waves, there's rend, so we got that. That's for, and the stroke orders were already where we need to be. And it should be more than visible, so that's good. If I needed to show you that, I don't know. To me, the stroke order is kind of obvious, but it's always good to kind of be a reminder or whatnot. I know I should make it a habit of looking at the stroke orders when possible, but sometimes I don't do that. All right, have some water. Alrighty. Let's see. It is RTK 52. Come here. Let's do the intro. Alright, time is now 37 minutes, 40 seconds. It is the 23rd. Alright, let's begin. Welcome, this is Nuke Marine, and I am presenting the Suggested Guide for Japanese Literacy, course series on Memorize. Currently, we are on course number 8, which is Remembering the Kanji Optimized, presenting the second of 555 kanjis from this time from Book 2 of the 2001.Kanji.Odyssey book series by Coscom, and presenting those kanji and remembering the kanji order for more optimized learning, speeded up learning. Currently, we are on lesson 52, which we still haven't passed 1,000 kanji yet, but we're getting close to it. So this is the lesson. These are the kanji which we will be covering. Let's get into options. Remember, the first one should be rend. So let's do preview and see what we have. Alright, so this is rend. Alright, so we are on the correct one. As always, here's what's happening. We present you with the keyword. Keyword is sort of usually related to the meaning of this kanji here. In addition, we'll give some other meanings that are related to this kanji. The purpose of the keyword is to help you recall this story, and then from this story you can help remember on how this kanji is designed. In addition to, I'll be presenting Japanese vocabulary. The purpose of the vocabulary is not to be memorized. You're not supposed to memorize these words nor the pronunciation of the words that's assigned to this kanji. That happens later with vocabulary and grammar courses. Again, same as the last 52 times I've said this, or 50, however many times I've had to say it. Alright, so let us begin. This is rend. So, to rip, tear, break, or destroy. Rend and rip. So it's not a commonly used English word. But yeah, think of rending something, rending bone from flesh, or rending flesh from bone. So if we can see this, it's words it uses. Yabureru and yaburu, which I think is, let me bring up, and go and activate the Rikai-kun. Rikai-chan? Rikai, one of those. Alright, come on. Come on. And there we go. Okay. And rend, rip, yeah, so I was just talking about the kanji. Yeah, so yabureru. Also we have is hagai. First word, destruction, disruption. We have another one. Second word, hakai. Hakai. Breaking a commandment, usually religious. Offense against the Buddhist commandments. Alright. Then we have is Hasan. Bankruptcy, insolvency. Another one, Hasan. Checking figure or doing it again. Finally we have is Gekiha. Crushing. Alright. Kanji that you're seeing here. So you're seeing stone and you're seeing pelt or rip. So think about rending. So anyway, here's the story real quick. Before the invention of scissor knives, sharp stones, there you got stones, were used to rend or rip apart pelt. So that these caveman designers completely new styles. So basically you needed to rend the pelt, make sure that it could rend off like the blood vessels and whatnot so it wouldn't rot or decay, before you start doing the tanning process for the pelt. So yeah, so think of stone and a pelt or fur or whatnot from an animal being ripped apart with the stones. All right, let's go with what Isaac has to say on the matter. So let's see. First time we did was last character we learned was waves. So now we have is old woman, expose. So here we have is rend, rock, and pelt. No story. So let's draw it. Okay, let's get rid of that. Alright, so we're still doing pelt, so let's just do that in part. So here's what we're covering. Alright, so that's pelt. So what now we want to do is rend. So when we think of rend, just think of ripping something apart. So we're thinking of using stones to rip something apart. There's a stone, and then we want to do the pelt. Alright, and that's the full thing for rend. I don't think we need to worry too much about the stroke order because it's right there at the first one. Next kanji. Alright, now we have is incur. From the looks of it, we get like a garment, and so incur. Now this could be cover, veil, brood over, shelter, wear, put on, and be exposed. To incur, it's to be exposed to accept it, to accept responsibility or something. Receiving, to incur a penalty, I guess would be another word. Alright, so let's see, it's like we have is he indicates target of an activity. So your responsibility for what you did. Here we have is komuru, I don't know the word. Hifuku, first word, clothing. Then we have is hifuku, coating or covering. So incur. We have is higai. In fact, actually I do need this. I'm having a hard time seeing the screen. And here we have is higai, damage. Then we have is hikoku, defendant, the accused. So incur the blame. Have to defend yourself. So incur. So now we have is cloak and felt. A cloak made of pelt incurs the wrath of animal rights activists. So that's a pretty good story. So think of cloak, pelt. So here incur thy wrath. Again, incurring the wrath. They threw paint on the cloak that was because it was fur, and fur is murder or whatnot. Let's see what Isaac has to say. I don't think he says anything. Let's see, incur, garment, and pelt. And let's just make sure, remember about garment. Just make sure if you haven't already. It's kind of like doing ne. So right there. But then next part. Right there. So that's cloak. So let's do incur. Let's do cloak. Remember that little dash there is really important. Otherwise it's show alter. Then we want to do pelt. Or Sully. And if you need to, it's like, again, just imagine someone is wearing the cloak of Sully from Monsters Incorporated. That would be, you'd incur the wrath of all the children everywhere. They would hate you for doing that. Or if you dress as Sully, then they'll just like really like you because they're going to chase you for an autograph. Incur. Next kanji. Particularly. So we're going to get back into bones, and now we're going to also an older one called vermilion. Particularly. So this is koto. Particularly, especially, exceptionally. So what do we have here? It's care, koto. Difference from one another. So in this case, a particular thing. Different thing. The other or unusual. Let's see. Shusho. I am not seeing it. I'm not seeing that kanji anywhere, so we're going to go to the next one. Shukun. Second word, shukun, meritorious deeds. Tokushu, first word, special or unique. So particularly, special, individually, especially, exceptionally. So particularly or exceptionally. Here we have parts of it. You're going to see is bones, and it could be that skeleton if you want. And then we also have vermilion, which is a color. Now, if you're not sure about vermilion, let's just do a quick search, because it's not a common word. Brilliant red pigment. So you can actually go to images and see another. Maybe it'll be a, yeah. So brilliant red, vermilion. So usually like a bird color. I usually think of for vermilion. In this case, a drop of. When leaves are about to drop from, not yet ready to drop from the tree, they turn a shade of particular vermilion. So here we have his bones, shaded red particularly. So this way where maybe it's like, you know, again, you got the bones of your ancestors, so you paint them in a dark ochre red or a red, dark vermilion color to make them stand out, be particularly valuable, these bones, because they belong to your ancestors or whatnot, so bones. See what Isaac has to say. So we got rend, incur. So let's, we're going to do bone. You kind of see it's like ku, one and ta. So ichi ta if you want to do that, or ku, whatever drop. And we're going to do particularly. So let's bring up bone real quick. All right. So there's bone. So you got one thing in the evening. And this is going to be ku if you want to, or ta, or also bound up if you want to do evening. So one thing in the evening, bones, like maybe think about one bone, you know, the one thing you scare at night is the bones walking around, the bone's going to walk around, bones, anyway. Now we want to do is particularly, there was no real story here, it was just do bones. Then we want to do vermilion. Again, vermilion is doing the drop, then we just finish up the tree. Or the not yet, so it's either drop and then not yet, or however you want to do it, but yeah, finish off the tree. And that's particularly, especially, uniquely. Next kanji. File. So this day or iretsu, a queue or a line, so that type of file, not a file to grind something down, but a file like in a file a line, line up or something. Column sequence. Let's see, what do we have? Also we have row, rank, tier, column. See, it says Retsu Soto, but we'll say it should be Reigai. It should be Reigai, which is here we have is Reisha, a train, an ordinary train. Reisha, so a line of cars. Yeah, train makes sense. Chinetsu, exhibition, a display or a show. Yeah, so lined up. Okay, lined up for display. So we have bones are lined up by someone using a saber in a single file line. So yeah, so maybe very graphically uses a saber, cut the skeleton up into little bone part fragments and line those up in a file, you know, to display. Maybe like a TV show is called Bones. So if you want a TV show, yeah, there is. For me, it was a game called Mr. Bones, which was for the Saturn or whatnot. Okay, so here file. So we want to think. Oh, let's see what Isaac has to say. Okay, so we got bone, remainder, martyrdom, particularly, augment. Here we have his file. Sense of words, people lined in a row, which he said. Okay, we already covered that. So again, you hear file, so you say, think of file, make a line of bones, or maybe the skeletons are all lined up in a single file line to, you know, and maybe each wearing a saber. Another way you can think of that if a movie called Jason and the Argonauts or whatnot, where a bunch of skeletons were raising out of the grounds and coming at them with sabers in a single file line, so you can take them all out at once. So, yeah, you know, they won't group up on them. They were being nice. They want to take them on one at a time in a single file. Next kanji, gist. This has a few meanings, but proceed to, tend, or become. Okay, let's see. Omomuki, meaning. The meaning of something, the gist of something, influence, appearance, taste. So aji, yeah, it has quite a few different meanings here. Here we have is shuko, shuko. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like it's the fifth word, a plan or an idea. Also shuko, partiality, gist, or plan or the gist of something. Like tell you the gist of it, like summarize or whatnot. I mean, what's the idea here? Here we have a shumi, hobby, taste, or preference. Shumi, usually for a hobby. And then kyoshu, kyoshu. Sixth word, kyoshu, interest in something. So you have shumi and kyoshu for interest or hobby. And then interest here. Okay, let's look at what we have. So it looks like we've got run, so running, and then we have take. All right, so to get the gist of something, just imagine your boss is running along and he doesn't have time to sit and talk to you, so he just wants you to stick out a piece of paper and he's going to take it and then read it on the run. He's going to get the gist of the idea. You don't want to be detailed, so you got to give him the gist of it or whatnot. So maybe that's like when you run along, there's little posters of people to hold up to, give you an idea of the gist of how much time is left, how many people are ahead or whatnot. Just very simple information whenever somebody's on the run. They can't take too much. They can only take the gist of something. Let's see what Isaac has to say. What are we doing? So we have file, split, ardent, death, internment, sunglasses. Let's do sunglasses real quick because it's not that big of a deal. But if you saw it, let me show it right there. So what you can see is like doing evening, so they could be moon glasses instead of sunglasses because of nighttime. And then what we're going to call, which is kind of like a variant on year. Okay, so we're definitely going to do evening here. And then on this other side is, we're going to do a part, so we're already kind of like, oh, I already fucked that up. Alright. Okay. Alright, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do a final line here. Okay, I'll tell you what, we'll do it right here. 1, 2, 3, and then the final line. So those are like moon glasses. And if it's by itself, monocle. Whatnot. Oh, kind of like the Monopoly man has. Monocle. Now let's see, we keep going with Isaac. What do we have? So we got sunglasses, wink. Here we have his ear, which we already covered. We have take. Now we have his gists. So we already covered ear and take. Just be sure. So here's ear. 1, 2, up. Alright, so that's ear. Then we want to do take, which is kind of like a longer version, longer stroke here. And then with crotch. So now what we want to do is gist. So we want to do it on the run. Take it on the run. Take the meaning on the run. Gist. So we're going to do run. Then we want to do ear. And it doesn't have to be as long. And then we do, so we do run, ear, and crotch. And that's take. Take and gist. Take the gist on the run. Gist of it. The gist of it. Next kanji. You can see it doesn't go all the way across like take does. Here we have a snapshot. So here we have it going all the way across because something is above it. So it's the upmost. So finger, sun, and take were upmost and whatnot. Snapshot. So this means take a picture. Snapshot. Take. So toru. Yeah, to take pictures. That's what toru here in this case is. Here we also have a satsue, a photographing. Satsue, suru, something. So here we have is a story. Take the utmost care when you don't have your finger in the way when you take a snapshot. So yeah, so think of a snapshot. You got the finger. The ET's got a really big finger, and maybe he instead puts his hand above his head so the sun's out of his eyes when he's taking a picture. And it's like when the sun's at the utmost position, it's the best time to take a snapshot. You can do lots of stories with this on how you're visualizing it. You got ET, sun, take, or ET, sun, ear, and crotch. Here, I guess if you want to take a snapshot of someone sunbathing, you want to give them from ear to crotch, as the best, if you want to do like the paparazzi like to do. So snapshot. Fingers and utmost. This character is convenient for taking photographs now. How conveniently the element for take is hidden in it. Okay, so take a picture. Tell you what, let's go to the new thing. Okay, so we already got ear and crotch and whatnot. So we do so think of taking a picture. So snapshot is taking a picture. So we already think ET or finger right there. But you want to do utmost, or you could say it's like paparazzi, sunbathing. However you want to do that. I usually do utmost, but that works. Alright, then we want to make sure if paparazzi is going to do it, they're going to try to take it from ear. Remember that very long stroke for ear. Alright, and then always make sure they got the person's crotch in the picture as well. Or when you take a picture, take utmost care that your finger is not in the way. have a good sign of the, take. So there you have his take. And good sunlight when you take a picture, and your finger's not in the way. Sunlight is good, and then take your picture. Next kanji. Shame. So here we have his ear and heart. So shame. So when you ear. Anyway, this is like shame or dishonor. Hazakashi. Let's see what we got. Hajirao, hajiru, haji, shame or embarrassment. Hazakashi. There's also hazakashi, I think. Yeah, right there. Hazakashi, which is that's usually where you hear about it for hazakashi. Here we have is chijoku. Disgrace, shame, insult. Let's see, muhaji, no, don't see that word. Harenchi, infamy. Okay, so embarrassment, but harenchi, infamy. So we have ear and heart. So you ever notice when you feel shame, your ears will turn red because your heart is beating so much blood that it's all going to your ears? So that's shame. That's easy enough. Here's one for Vincent van Gogh, but I don't really care for it. So shame, your ears are turning red, the color of the red blood, because of blood pumping it to from your heart, because your heart's beating so fast. See what Heisig says to it. So okay, snapshot. Here's shame, ear and hearts. It's rare to have heart on the right rather than at the bottom. Take advantage. Oh yeah. I don't know. I was thinking ear and heart. So shame, hazakashi. So there's your ear. It's turning red. And why is your ear turning red? Because the beating of your heart so fast because of the embarrassment you just experienced. Maybe you're naked in class or whatever. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, now we have his post. Employment, work. So this is to employ something of whatnot. Post. Let's see what we have. We have shiki, agency. Okay, employment, and shoku, employment. Shokugyo, occupation or business. So there's employment there. Shokumu, professional duties. Okay. And then shushoku. I've heard this before. Finding employment, inauguration. Okay. So we have ear, and it looks like we remember from last lessons group was kazoo. So we have ear and kazoo. Post. Worst post in history, quality checker at the kazoo factory. Imagine the toil on your ears. Worst post or job in history. The other could be is like, you can also think of for posting like, okay, there's your ear, you're listening out for announcement for new jobs, and there's always someone is blowing a kazoo whenever they're saying, hey, there's a new job, and you want to go to that area to see, what they're hiring. That's another way of doing it. If you, however you want to do it. Let's see what Heisig says. So we have shame. Here we have his post. Refers to one's occupation, position, employment. So it's ear and kazoo. Let's look at kazoo real quick, which was stand. And then the bottom part was also here for, so it's like sound and fiesta, so that's kazoo. So kazoo playing at the fiesta. So that's, well, now we want to do post. So keep your ear out for a new poster of employment. Alright? And most jobs now, what they do is they'll play a kazoo to help attract your attention that, oh, we've got a new job opening. And it helps if I do this all in parts. Alright, so we got ear. We're going to do first part of kazoo, and then we're going to finish off the fiesta. Because again, it's about sound. Kazoo is relating to stand right there. Do the rest, and we can finish it off. There's the stand, there's the sound, and then finish off the fiesta. And there you go. Post, employment. Keep an ear out for the kazoo sound. Next up we have his ear, and what some people are calling, you've already seen the needles and eyes. We saw that for crump or destruction. When we're going to hear, that's where some people are going to calling it like the X-ray or something. Eye and needle and eye, kind of like X-ray. So we have ear, needle, eye, and heart. This is for a kanji for listen, which is a little different. We also have, don't confuse it with kiku, which is to hear. So this is listen. In fact, I tell you what. Well, yeah, it's in a different kanji anyway. But yeah, it's not kiku. I tell you what. Let me do that. Kiku. Alright. Yeah, so it is Kiku also, but it's just a different version of listening. Here we have is headstrong, naughty, also careful inquiry. Yeah. Here we have is Chokaku, the sense of hearing. Choshu, second word, audience, attendance, hearers. There is Bocho, Bocho, hearing, listening, attendance. So this is more of the, maybe a more biological aspect of listening, not the bit more scientific. So this is why you hear like eye, nose, ear, and mouth. You'll be hearing, having this in there, I think, for like listening device. Let's see what Isaac has to say. So we got shame, post. So we have holy, daring, listen. Compare to, and I guess there's a couple other frames dealing with 885. Okay, compare to frame 400. I don't know what that is. All right, ear, needle, and eye. And here's the story. Okay, so here's what we got. We got ear, needle, eye, and heart. I promised to use my ear to do nothing but listen. Stick a needle in my eye, cross my heart. So here's what he's doing. He's reversing the cross my heart, hope to die, stick a needle in my eye, which is an old saying in English, or a children's saying in English, but he's reversing it. So for a promise, I promise to only listen with my ear, to always, keep an ear out. And in this way, stick a needle in my eye, cross my heart, hope to die. Okay, so that's a good one of doing it. Also, some people are using this for X-ray, needle and eye. I think needle, eye, and heart he's calling for X-ray. And then so ear, it's kind of like maybe for listening you can think of like Daredevil, for ear, since he's blind, so he can listen to a lot. So that's a good way of doing it. And he is very able to detect the needles, and he's better listen. He can hear better than most people can see, and he can make it out. And then of course he can listen to heartbeats to tell if people are telling the truth. Alright, so we're just going to do listen. So listen, obviously you want to do ear. That's an obvious one. And then we got the ear. So you want to listen. So maybe I will listen and stick a needle in my eye and cross my heart, hope to die. So let's do stick a needle in the eye. And if you want to do for needle, eye, think of a story. You can do that as well, like X-ray. So in fact, he kind of has a sonar that was better. Like if you want to use this for Daredevil for ear, which is actually a pretty good mnemonic. That's pretty good for a pretty good character because he's on Netflix now. So yeah, if you want ear for being Daredevil, that's pretty good. And then yeah, it's like his sonar is as good as some people's X-rays because you can listen to the heartbeat and tell if people are telling the truth. Okay, yeah, needle and eye can be X-ray if you want, and then heartbeat is obvious. Okay, yeah, I like that. Ear, Daredevil. I should have thought of that earlier. So now we have his placement. We got that sideways eye again, needle and eye, or straight up. Okay, but anyway, so this is placement. To set something up, to deposit or leave behind, to keep, employ, pawn. But mainly it's about placement, to place something there. And that's oku, which is also to mean to do something in future and preparation. So oku, to place, or it's used in some grammar as well. Here we have is ichi. The second and third word, ichi. Place, situation, position. Okay. Here we have is hochi. First word, leave as is, leave to chance, leave alone. Then we have a shochi, treatment, measurement, or step. Alright, so we got eye, needle, eye again, and then straight away. So eye, a good spot, then straight away make a placement of something there. Yeah, so eye and straight away. That's just for a story itself. Let's see what Isaac has to say. So we got listen, pocket, and there you see needle and eye again, but this is for mandala, which is sun, eye, sideway eye, and crotch. Let's see, ridicule, loose, by, placement. Here we are, placement. So we have sideway eye and straight away. Okay, so you want to do placement. All right, so you want to, when you do like placement of something, you want to eye the location real well. All right, and then maybe you want to Stick a needle there, kind of mark your place. There's a little needle if you want to. You also do straight away, you know, eye of place straight away. So eye location, so stick a needle in that location, and then keep an eye on that needle. You know, make sure no one else moves it. And when you're ready to set up shop, you know, take that needle out straight away, because now you're ready to use that place. So this thing about placement, like marking your territory, and then, you know, removing the marks while you're ready to use the territory. And this will also be eye and straight away. Next kanji. Ring. Now this is a circle, like the actual wearing a ring on your finger if you want to. Wa. So that's like ring, circle, loop. So yubi wa would be like a finger ring. Whooper heels is also called kan, which is ring or a band, and tamaki, bracelet. Okay. So here we have is kanjo. I'm not seeing it. Okay, it's the 7th word, kanjo, right at the bottom. An annulation or ring forming. Okay. Here we have is kankyo, environment or circumstance. All right. Don't see anything else. And then we have is junkan, first word, circulation, rotation. So dealing again with rings, not as the same as there's mawaru, and there's also futoru, or like something that's also about round or whatnot. So there's a few kanji dealing with round, but this way is a ring. Together with the next kanji, the keywords spell send back the ring. First we have the jewel. So the eye of, so here's the story they're doing. So there's the jewel, the eye of Sauron. Think of the ring, think of the one ring. So there's the, actually it's like for the king, or Sauron the king, without the jewel. So it's just a plain ring. Next we have the set, the eye. So there's the eye of Sauron, following the fellowship. Next is the, and then there's the one, so maybe the one referring to the one ring itself. Fifth is the mouth of Gollum, mumbling, "My precious." So and there's scarf right there, because maybe that scarf was like the elven rope that they tied up. Gollum with to keep him. Or that wasn't really. They're not calling that, more like what would they call it? Rags. They're calling it more like for rags. So what are we doing for there? Yeah, they're calling it scarf. Okay, let's see what Isaac has to say. That's an interesting story. So we have is placement, penalty, rather, voiced, ring. Number of elements is large here. Take time with the kanji story. Think of the connections. There are two cases of book combinations. Yeah, so these two right here, ring and send back, is what they're talking about. But so this is where the one ring does come in. So first thing, when you think of ring, think of the king's ring. So let's do, or jewel, right, the king saying. That's like the ring of the king. In this case, the ring of the king was actually turned out to be the one ring, because every time you put it on, the eye of Sauron looked at you. And therefore they had to film the Fellowship of the Ring to send this, you know, again, the one true ring back. Then when bring up Gollum. So there's the eye of Sauron, there's the one true ring, and now it's the mouth of Gollum itself. So. And then you knew it was Gollum because he was just wearing, you know, scarf or rags, you know, because he had been possessed by the one ring, or has taken a hold of him. And that would actually be straight down. It wouldn't be. Tell you what, let me clean that up a little bit. Okay, so it would actually be one and then straight down. You need to. All right, so this is ring. The mainly thing ring is, think of this right here, the jewel or king staff. So maybe the ring of the king. Next kanji. This. Okay, so the skipping send back. All right, so that'll come in later. Now we're going to actually bring up husband. We kind of learned this anyway earlier with a few other kanji. This was used as a primitive. Now we're seeing it as a kanji in itself. Husband, or sometime a reference to a man. So here we have is Olto, husband. Suma. Kind of. Nah, I wouldn't refer that as wife. Ignore that part. But yeah, mainly Olto, husband. Shujin, I think, is part of this. Here we have is Fusai, man and wife, or a married couple. Fusai. So really husband and wife. Nofu, second word. Peasant. So there is like field or farming husband. Or, yeah. Or, let's see. Bon otu, we don't get that, so it's like fufu, married couple. So similar like fusai, but here you have is fufu, so husband and wife, married couple, husband and wife. And then we have is kufu, scheme, device, scheming, figuring out. Mainly just going to think of husband, so it's kind of like not yet with person. Here's what it is. Even though it's argued size is not important, I'm sure most women would like their husband to have one big. Yeah. I don't like that. It's like think of a husband. Maybe he's got, you know, both sets of arms around his wife, both arms around his wife, and that's it. Maybe there's a husband with his arms hugging his wife, and you also see the top part of the arms of the wife hugging him. You know, that could be it. Just think of if you want to visualize it like that. Sounds a little sweeter. So two in person. So a husband is when two people become one person. You know, that could also, you could work it like that as well. Let's see what Isaac has to say. So we got rings and back. Here's husband, head of the family. There's head. Based on the kanji for large. Do not confuse it with heavens. Alright, let's do it. So here's husbands. Alright, so we're going to do two. So you think of a husband as being like two people. You know, be a husband is like treat two people as one. That's husband. And normally for a primitive, I think of as Homer Simpson. Whenever I use this, we've used this before. So yeah, for husband. So we got mother is Marge Simpson. Wife. I don't think I've used anyone for wife personally, but yeah, since this isn't other kanji, I just think of Homer Simpson as a husband of the Simpsons. Next kanji. Here we have his exchange. We already had permit, but now this is exchange. So this means to spare, substitute for, kind of like dai, per. So exchange. There's kaeru, to change out, or to exchange for one for the other. Kawaru, to be changed. So it's like there's a kaeru, kawaru. Here we have is dai tai, change of ownership, substitution, subrogation. So yeah, to change out stuff. So now you're going to have two husbands, or in other words, two Homer Simpsons, and day. So way the story goes, I like this little story. There's a show like Trading Spouses. And in this case, so it's going to be called Exchanging Husbands. So instead of trading spouses, exchanging husbands. Two husbands are exchanged for a day. That's a pretty good story there, so we'll just stick with that. Let's see what Isaac has to say. So we got husband, we got aid, mountain stream, standard, exchange. So there we have two husbands in a day. And you can see it came up like 1, 2, 3 times. And it's up to you if you want to think of a story for two Homer Simpsons or whatnot. I kind of have my own thing I usually share. I don't know why. It's just when I visually think of like, you know, I think of one husband, think of Homer Simpson, but in one of them he's dressed like the wife, and you know, because he's like basically playing two parts, he's playing the husband and the wife in this, and then but anyway, we'll just do exchange. So instead of like a husband exchange, then we're going to do, in this case, so trading spouses or husband exchange, exchanging husbands. So exchange of husbands for the day, you can follow them around for the TV show. Exchange. Next kanji. Storehouse. Flowers are, okay, so this is kind of like, don't confuse it with what is it, warehouse? So we got storehouse and warehouse. Similar, I mean, basically are the same. It is the same word. In fact, they're used together. Let's see, it's like, let's see, Zosho, book collection, library. So it's like storehouse, hide, own, possess. Chozo, storage or preservations. And then we has a dozo, storehouse with thick walls, gardens. Yeah, I'd say don't confuse it with warehouse. So I'll tell you what, let's do an editing real quick. Okay, so we'll come here, copy. Let's do here, let's do a search for warehouse. Okay, warehouse, we'll say not that. Okay. And let's copy this, copy. we'll do the same thing. Not. Alright, that should keep things a little simpler. Okay, Kura. Alright, so this is storehouse. We already went over some words. It said dozo, storehouse with thick walls, or go down, which is, I guess, a Chinese warehouse. Chozo, storage or preservations. Alright, so we're going to learn a new little primitive here called, I think that's princess. Let's see, retainer. Okay, not princess, it's a slave. Ouch. Storehouse flowers. Flowers are carried by a parade of slaves in the world's largest storehouse. Alright, so let's go to Hazik because we're going to have to learn slave. So we got approve, submerge. We got lose, we already know that one. Iron, alternate. Okay, retainer. Now this is a so this is slave. I don't know of a good image for slave. You know, I just think of like it could be the Egyptian slaves building the pyramids. You could do the African slaves that worked in the in the 16th, 17th centuries or 18th centuries also. But yeah, I usually think of it could be a slave. Maybe the guy from Gladiator, since the general became a slave. That could be one as well. Okay, but anyway, this is kind of weird. So you're doing line, going to drop, kind of like a visual of an eye, keeping an eye out. Draw one line. Yeah, pop out. Yeah, retainer. So let's learn this real quick before we go into the... Alright, so this is slave. We don't have to worry about it too much, but we want to think of one line. So kind of like we're doing eye. And we're going to do one thing popping out. Let's see. Popping out. And then we're going to finish this off. So kind of like, so again, retainer or slave. So this is retainer or slave. So you have to kind of practice this a little bit. Kind of get used to it. Okay, retainer or slave. So kind of like a little bit of eye, but just, again, pushed in a bit. So maybe that's how they're going to keep an eye out on them. Marking. Alright, let's go. Keep going. So we have... retainer. Now we have princess, which is a woman slave. Go figure. Storehouse. There we are. Flowers, parade, slaves. All right. So storehouse. So you got all the flowers. Oh, in the storehouse are a bunch of flowers for decorating of the. Maybe it's like the Colosseum. He's going to have the gladiator fight. So they have to go and. Because of this parade, they have to get a parade of slaves in order to grab all these flowers to take it to the Colosseum to decorate it for the emperor to watch the gladiator fight of slaves. If you want to keep the gladiator story there going. Let's see what Heisig. So he doesn't give any much story on that one. So let's go. Let's write it. Okay. So storehouse, not warehouse. Storehouse. A storehouse of flowers. So you hear storehouse. Think of a storehouse of flowers that are going to be used to decorate. All right. For the We're going to do parade, parade of slaves. So let's do flowers. There's the first part of the parade. Now let's do slave, slaves. All right, and then we want to do, there's parade, there's the slaves, and then we want to finish off the parade. Okay, so flowers, parade, slave. Okay, storehouse. So you're going to take them to take it from the storehouse, and we're done going to take them back to the storehouse because don't confuse it with warehouse. Next kanji, storehouse. Now we have is entrails. Okay, so entrails is basically your guts are stored in a storehouse of your body. That's where your guts are stored. And so you think of entrails, viscera, bowels. If you're not sure, again, this is your guts. Here's some words that use it: zoki, viscera, internal organs. Naizo, internal organs, intestines, viscera. Also, second word, internal, built-in, equipped with. Shinzo, now this is your heart, shinzo. Also, you hear zo, this is used like kanzo is a liver. Used a few other times, maybe haizo. Just something dealing with inside the body, your organs, entrails, your organs, your viscera. Okay, let's look what Heisig has to say. let's see, you signed your organ donor card, right? So when you die, your entrails and other body parts will be placed in a storehouse. Okay, that's good. So entrails. Entrails, think of body. Your entrails are sort of like your body is the storehouse for the entrails in your body, or your guts in your body. And I like that little thing about the organ donor card. That's kind of a nice story. All right, so we have storehouse. Here we have his entrails, part of the body storehouse. So let's do this. Okay. I like how this gets a little complicated, huh? All right, so viscera, or entrails. So entrails, you're always going to think of your body parts. In this case, it's entrails. Your body is the storehouse. So storehouse is, of course, flowers. So body, flowers. Then, of course, you want to do the little party that's going on there, or the parade. There's the flowers, there's the parade, there's the slaves carrying the... And if you ever seen Futurama, there's a scene where they go inside of Fry's body and they're having to fight all the tapeworms. They're having this kind of fiesta, you know, treating Fry both as their god and the slave to what they want to do, you know, making him yeah, Futurama is a really good you know, if you're trying to think of visual stories, well, then Futurama is the way to go for some things. All right, so yeah, so this is viscera. So we got storehouse. So you got slave or retainer, storehouse, and guts or viscera, and entrails. Entrails. There we go. Next kanji. I think that's the last one. Yeah, we are done. So that took 40 minutes. That was a little longer, but we had some complicated stuff to cover. That wasn't too bad though. Alrighty, so let me go turn on some lights. Alrighty. Okay, we got that all done. Let's go next. Go to levels. Alright, let's review this stuff, learn these new words. Okay, rend, we already know that. Incur the wrath of, there was a cloak and felt. There's rend, stone and felt. Incur, which is cloak and felt, or pelt, sorry, cloak and pelt, animal pelt. Particularly, bones and shade of red, or vermilion. There's incur, receive, exposed. File, detsu, gyodetsu. Yeah, I think of it as gyodetsu, filing in line. Rend, particularly. Okay. File, gyodetsu. There we go. Okay, now we got gist. Does he take exchange? Take it on the run. Rend. Shumi, yeah. Interest. Rend. So that's stone and pelt. Incur, that's cloak and pelt. Incur the wrath of animal, or gist, take something on the run. Running, yeah, you can take a particularly. That's rend. Rip, tear, break, destroy. Take, or gist. Gist, proceed, lend, also become. Particularly. Right there. Particularly, especially, exceptionally. That's file. Row, rank, tier, column. File. Right there. Row, rank, tier, column. Bones and saber. That's run and take. Gist. Proceed. Incur. Cover, veil, wear, put on, exposed to. Gist. Proceed, tend, become. File, row, rank, tier, column. Gist. Let's run and take. Take the information on the run, particularly. especially, exceptionally. Incur. That's a cloak and pelt. Exposed, receiving, particularly. Especially, exceptionally. File. Bones and saber. Cur. Particularly. Bones and vermilion. Rend. Stones and pelt. Gist. Run and take. Gist. Proceed. Tend. Become. File. What the heck am I watching? Rend. There are stones in right there. Okay, cool. Alright, that's going to take about 2 minutes, around about 10 minutes to review all these. I'm going to take a quick break and then come back and do one more lesson, at least. I don't think I have time to do 3 today. Plus, I need to make sure I get these stories loaded up. I need to go back and keep loading these stories. Okay. Alright, snapshot, toru, satsue, hazakashi, embarrassed or shame. Snapshot, finger and take, upmost, shame, ears the color of your heart, blood of your heart, post, employment, shoku, okay, listen, kiku, cho, okay, post, listening for a kazoo, listen for that kazoo announcing the new post, listen, not that one, yeah, that's ears, yeah, then, oh yeah, one new ear for Daredevil. Daredevil listens with like a X-ray, but he can hear your heart. Take, snapshot, upmost, take, upmost, finger, shame, placement, eye over, place, leave behind, employee and pawn, okay, oku. I just know that as oku, but yeah, ichi is another location thing dealing with it. Shame, finger, heart, X-ray, here's listen, placement, listen, no wait, that's a post, there's listen. Now that's kind of cool right here because you got dirt and similar things for that, but it's right here. That's a demolition or demolish. Snapshot. Finger, yeah, right there. Okay, ear, needle, eye. Listen. Shame or hazakashi. Yeah. I didn't say anything of embarrassed, but yeah, shame, dishonor. Only because of hazakashi is just like embarrassed. So that's the reason why I usually say I think embarrassed. Post. And as we say, that's post employment. There's a kazoo and ear. Oku, placement. Set something up there. Listen, not kiku. Well, it is kiku, but listen, but not that one. So it's the ear, Daredevil, X-ray, heart. finger upmost, sun, take, snapshot, placement, shame, and post, listen, ear, x-ray, heart. There we go. Placement. Your spot, mark it with the needle, keep an eye on that space, pull it out when you're ready to use it. Alright, place, snapshot, finger, take, shame, tis a shame, post, post haste, employment, placement, eye or locate, yep, there we go, straight away. Snapshot, toru, satsue, 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 post, shoku, yeah, huh, now we gotta think of a daredevil for ear from now on, huh. Some people did for ear for Spock, because Spock had the ears. There was also Dumbo, which is good for ears. Dumbo the elephant. However you want to do for ears. It's all good. For me personally, I just keep on just thinking ear itself. Just the ear itself is almost enough. Let's go levels. What are we doing now? Got the last 5. We'll be at 225. So 225 plus 55, so we're at 780. Actually, let me make sure. So we... Yeah, so at 780, so we'll be 795 today. We'll be passing 800 tomorrow. That's kind of cool when you think about it. Alright, so this is ring. Ring. Okay. King, I, one. The one true ring. There's husband, or I think of as a... there's ring. King. Ring of the king. Husband. Okay. Exchange. Trading husbands. Exchanging husbands, trading spouses. It's easy enough. Storehouse. Don't confuse it with warehouse. Kuda. Yeah. They're both pronounced Kuda if you noticed. Kuda and Kuda. There's also one other thing for Kuda as well. So there's like, basically you got 3 kanji in reference to warehouse. And then Heise gives you essentially a different word for each one. And the one that's really weird is go down, when you look into that one. Exchange. That's right. That was submerge. Let me see something real quick. Did we already have that here? We already went through it, didn't we? Yeah, it was right here, submerge. Yeah, because that's the kanji used in submarine, submerge. Sensui kan. So this is the sen, and then sui is water. So submerge, water, and boat, or battlecraft. Alright, anyway, let's see. This is ring, the one true ring of the king. There's a husband, Homer Simpson. 2 people. There's storehouse, not warehouse. So it's the flowers, the parade, and the slaves. There's the exchange, exchanging husbands, trading spouses, exchanging husbands. Husband itself, Homer Simpson. It's storehouse. Ring. Entrails. Storehouse, don't confuse with entrails. Exchange. Yeah, don't confuse this with permit. Because I think they look alike. In fact, if you can see how, approve. So you have exchange and approve, how they look very similar to each other. You know, one's using some, one using SpongeBob. Entrails. Zoe. Let's see, husband. Otto. That's like foo. Foo. Husband, wife. Entrails. Guts. Entrails. Viscera, bowels. Exchange. Husband. Ring. That's the WAV, UBWA, finger ring. Alright, warehouse. Or storehouse. Alright, just look up viscera just for a... I know I've seen, I mean, it's going to be guts. Internal organs, main cavity of the body. Yeah, basically your guts. Your intestines. Entrails. Storehouse. Exchange. Entrails. Ring. King Sauron. There's one, and then Gollum with his with the scarf. Okay, storehouse. Exchange. Right there. Ring. Kind of know all these now. Husband. That's kind of interesting. Like, yeah, you do know all these by now. Otto. Entrails. Should I change it? Alrighty, cool. That should be everything. So I'm probably gonna take a quick break and get some coffee. Yeah, come back and we'll just do this next level. I don't think there's anything to review. Let's see. Close this out. Let's see. Yeah, a couple of things. There's almost not even worth bothering. Alright, let's just knock these out real quick before I even go on break. Okay, let's see what we got. Should be Coco. Coco. Okay. Okay, a couple from here. Probably a couple that I missed. So Wadu. Yeah, I missed that yesterday. Wadu. Bean. Okana. Bean. Okay. Then Zetai Kareshi, one I think that was one I missed by accident.
よかった。リーコの力になれて。
よかった。リーコの力になれて。よかった。リーコの力になれて。これ。Next. Alright, that should do it. Okay. So what should happen is I get back here and I'll start doing the next lesson and carry on from there. We're getting there. 40% done. What does it feel like? Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. It's 74, not 64. So there's 20 lessons left, not yeah, so that'd be like 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, I'll take that back. Okay, that could be anywhere from a lesson a day to 10 lessons. Alright, yeah, I was, for some reason, thinking there was 10 levels left. No, there's like 20. Good gosh. My mind was completely off on that. Alright, there's, yeah, 37 lessons in this for 555 kanji. But yeah, on the bright side, when we get to part, when we get into the intermediate levels and we go to part 3 and part 4, it's just going to be 450 kanji each instead of 555. And again, these are not going to be used that often. Yeah, so by the time we're done with intermediate part 1, you'll have 2,000 kanji in this Hazig format if you do bother to do it that way. And yeah, you won't be using, you're not going to use like a big percentage of the, I mean, you're not going to be using like, I don't even know how many of that you use. I did the numbers again yesterday, or over the weekend or something. I looked at the numbers. Like, so again, there's 9,500 words in the core 10K series. So basically 10,000 words, but I guess there was some repetitive, so they got it down to 9,500 words. And again, 1,200 of those words are, so 12% are kanji. And then the 50% of them is kana, and the 555 uses the 555 kanji from the first course. And then if we consider this course all 1,100 kanji, we get up to 7,700 words. So 1,200 from that use kana only, 3,800 that use the first 555. So now 2,700 that use this next set of 555. So a quarter of the words in core 10K use these 555. And then up to when you get to part 3 and part 4, the 2,000 kanji. So you add in the next set of 450 kanji. So you're up to 1,550 kanji. Now you've added another 1,100 words, or 8,000, or 86%. And then at 2,000 you add another 600 words. So it's again, for 450 kanji. Of that, maybe 600 words use one of those kanjis. Maybe. And so a lot of the kanji aren't even used the more and more you go along. But again, you're not just learning this kanji for a vocabulary list. You're learning these kanjis for in general. And so when you run into them in the wild, or maybe in your studies or whatnot, then it's already in your head. It's ready for you to just pick in and say, okay, so that's how the Japanese are using it. I already had it in my head. Now I see how the Japanese are using it. And that comes with time. That's not something you worry about right now. It will be coming with time. Alright, don't need the earphones anymore. I'm going to bring up the video. Though, yeah, this course is going to be a little bit longer than I had anticipated. I was like, for some reason thinking, it's like, oh man, I'm almost done with this. Like, nope, reality just slapped me across the face. This is going to take a little bit longer, but that's not too bad. Kanjis are fun. Kanji is fun. Alright.
はじめまして、理想の恋人です。どうもどうも。先日契約なさいましたよね。ねえリーコ、エッチしよう。
Let's continue.
あんた、リーコを振ったそうじゃない。
We got 32 minutes.
言ってる意味がよくわかりませんけど。
There we go. And again, this is the Untitled Chapter episode 1. Covered this in the Japanese Army Immersion episode 1. Or basics. So there you go. Be right back. Make get some coffee.
女性の体重ですが。
それ冗談。全然面白くない。
リーコが重いってどういう意味です？
だから帰るよ。 カイロ、あったかいやつ。あの子って一途で一生懸命なとこあるでしょ。まあよく言えば純粋ってことになるんだろうけど、まあ今時流行んないわね、そういうのね。
重いことの何がいけないんです？
あんた嫌じゃないの？なんか石関さんってイメージと違ったわ。
俺石関さんって人じゃないですけど。
じゃあんた誰？
俺はリーコの彼氏です。名前はまだつけてもらってませんけど、リーコを愛しています。
あんた面白いわね。
面白いですか？
ここでいいです。
リーコちゃんのキッチン見てみたいな。どんなところでお菓子作ってるのか知りたいし。
でも寄ってもらいたいのは山々なんですけど、今実家の両親が来てて。
残念だな。じゃあ今度招待してよね。
はい、もちろんです。明日の新作発表会うまくいくといいですね。
頑張ろうね。
はい。なんとかしなきゃ。家電。
What are we doing? なんとかしなきゃ。There's a shipping slip, very standard. You get that in any convenience store. Here we find out the guy's an asshole.
参ったよ。お前の友達マジでうざいな。
前の友達マジでうざいな。
いいじゃん。適当に遊んでやれば。
適当に遊んであれば。
まあミカの頼みなら仕方ないか。
まあミコの頼みなら仕方ないか。What can you do? I'm guessing they're going to a hotel.
参ったな。
Alrighty.
まさか返品されるとはな。
とりあえず現状部長に報告してきます。
おい、部長への報告止めてくれ。
部長への報告してくれ。Stop it for me. はい、わかりました。Nice.
I can't wait to see an exhibition.
Yeah, and Japanese do the same tricks that Americans do. They'll have a guy say like a couple words in English and then switch completely to Japanese just to make sense. Oh yeah, he's an expert in the language. That may be the case. Is like there may be some actors that do speak English, but for the majority, it's not. From what I've seen, it's not that good. At least their English level isn't that great. But again, they're not hired to speak English, so who cares? You know. All right, so in fact, let me go and close this off. Let's stop and turn off. Yeah, I'm watching the news. Got the news on TV right now, so it's showing stuff about the U.S. election, which can be either exciting or embarrassing or tragic or however you want to look at it. It's just kind of an interesting thing. Don't want to talk too much about it. Just in fact, over the weekend, I think the NHK was in Yokosuka doing filming around the Buita Street, and also in the morning they were filming around Verney Park, which is a large park near the opposite of the naval bases here in Japan, or in the Yokosuka. And just part of it was about the election, and part of it was just actually showing what's happening around Verney Park. It was just interesting. The NHK will do that now and again. So I was hanging out with one of the film crews, talking with the translator or the group of people there, having fun and whatnot. See how much I'm on TV or not. Hopefully not, because I think I was embarrassing myself way too much. So hopefully they decided to not even include me in it, whatnot. Okay, that said, let's we've already caught up on the reviews. Let me do a couple of things. Let me just do a quick refresh on these topics, see if anything popped up. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, they're telling people don't chit chat in this part. You should go into off topic if you're not talking about Japanese. That makes sense. Let's see. Let's see what else we got. Nothing of an interest there. Let's see. These two questions. Japanese. Anyone know a good kanji and context site or book? Funny you should mention that. I've actually got a really good spreadsheet for kanji and context. Like literally, it's based on the book Kanji and Context. Studying. What is he saying about studying? Just for fun. I studied off and on, dude. Again, dude. I think it means due to work in school. Wondering best way to build a schedule to studying and what can be learned by beginners. Study here pretty well. Trying to learn kanji, but funny he should ask. As usual, I go in and I'll link to my my thing or whatnot. Let's see what else I got. Nothing I can see here. Okay. All right. Let's go back to studying. I need to make sure finish up these stories, add some more stories to these. Let's see, level 17. So we're supposed to be 37. So there's 20 levels. After this, there should be 20 levels left. God, sorry, they're showing. Maybe I should turn the TV off. The English is a bit too distracting. Usually it's just Japanese being played. All right, so let's get this started. Okay, so I got here, got that, got there for. Should be here. Stroke order for 8:56. Okay, so there's on trail. So we'll go from there. We'll go to 8:56. Okay. Should be good. Let's get this started. Time is now, we'll say 1 hour 52 minutes. 1 hour 52 minutes. We'll say 40 seconds. It is still the 23rd. And we can begin. Again, got 2 people watching live. Been no comments or chats in the chat log, so I guess this is passive listening right now, which happens. Alright, let's begin. I'll tell you what, let's go to here. Lesson 17. Okay. Alright, here we go. And welcome. This is Nuke Marine presenting the Suggested Guide for Japanese Literacy course series on Memorize. Currently we are on course number 8, which is the Remembering the Kanji Optimized Part 2. Presenting the 555 kanji from the second book of 2001, that kanji to Odyssey, and presenting those kanji in the Remembering the Kanji order for more optimized learning. We are currently, I'm up to course number, or in this case lesson number 17, but in this case course number 53, or lesson number 53. We're approaching the 800 kanji mark, and again we're 20 more lessons after this to complete the course. Let's go into here. Here are the 15 kanji we'll be covering. We kind of have a variant of slave, which will be turning to gigantic. I guess we'll be using Attack on Titan, since I think that's the Kyo of Kyojin. And there's repel. So yeah, there should be some fun kanjis here. And let's look at the previews. What have we got? All right. So as always, we're going to have the Heisei keywords, which are related and sort of to the meaning of this kanji, and we'll also be giving some other words that have some meanings related to this kanji. In addition to this keyword gives you the idea of the story that help you to write the kanji from memory if possible, and I'll be introducing words that utilize this kanji. However, as always, don't worry about memorizing these words just yet. That should happen in the when we get into vocabulary and grammar. That's when you want to, or also if we do some additional things, such if you just start on learning from context or what is it called? Like the Japanese drama immersion course SUP or subs SRS, or just generally just in exposing yourself to Japanese, the language, not the people. All right, so let's begin. So this is gigantic. Now, good, just like it says, don't confuse it with dai, but gigantic, big, large, great. So that's like really big, not just big, but really big. Saidai, gigantic. Words that use this: kyodai, kyodai, huge, gigantic, enormous. So it's gigantic and big. Kyosho, falling. Let's see. Second word, master, master hand, maestro. Third word, a wealthy merchant. Also the seventh word, kyoshi, large capital, enormous fund. Then we have is Kyoman, a huge fortune, millions. He also says Shingeki no Kyojin. This is the Kyo of Kyojin, or big, so Titan essentially. Titan or a giant. Let's see, so the pop eye of a giant. So this thing, that's the eye, and that's like a really big, that's like the pupil. You see the eye so big that it's like, it's your eye, its pupils are just huge. It's like a mouth in and of itself. Yep. So kind of like a, or you could say it's like maybe it's a slave that came into a giant and broke its bond. So now you see kind of like this relation of that one eye. Or you could think of gigantic cyclops, however you want to. There are different ways you can look at this. So let's look at Heisig real quick. So last word we learned in the previous lesson was entrails. So let's see what else we've skipped over. So we skipped intelligent, strict, look to, perusal. Now we have is gigantic. So since we're going to add these to a few words, let's start. So it's similar to retainer or slave, but we're just going to do it gigantic. So let's do straight line, so like the side of the eye. So gigantic, big, and then we want to do the pop eye. So popped out eye. Popped out eye. Finish that off. All right, so this is gigantic right there. Let's see, what did Heisig say? Gigantic pop eye. Popped eye. Don't confuse it with slave that you just learned. It counts for its shape. Gigantic popped out eye. Next kanji. Now we have is repel. If you want to do for gigantic, I mean, if you want to, you can think of Cyclops is a good one because it was like a giant with one eye, and it kind of looks like, kind of see the one eye look here. I don't know why this visual is there. So what I want to do is repel. So it's repel, to refuse, reject, decline, to repel, hold off. Where's it? Let's see. Doesn't say anything there. So kobamu, I don't know that word. Here we have it. Kyozetsu, refusal or rejection. Then we have is kyohi, denial, veto, rejection. Great cost. Okay. So what we have is fingers and giants. So maybe repel. You can imagine like if it's a giant cyclops and he's maybe he's trying to repel people from trying to kill him because he's got the little, people always want to, anytime there's a giant, everybody wants to kill him because, it's a giant. You got to kill giants, whatever reasons. And so maybe he's using his little finger, gigantic fingers can repel off, maybe flicking it and just, kicking everybody, making everybody go away. Gigantic fingers are useful to repel insects. You can swat them away a lot easier. Gigantic fingers, or fingers of the giant help repel off the little humans that want to kill it. That's how I think of it. Here's Heisig. Let's see, gigantic, repel, fingers and gigantic. Alright, so repel. Think of repel if you need to. Also, if you want to bring up E.T., you think E.T. repelling. In this case, maybe he repelled by making an illusion, repelled the FBI agents by making the illusion of becoming a giant. Because he has that type of mental power. Do this in small parts. Do that there. There, and then finish it off. Alright, so repel. So gigantic and repel. This is also kyo. So same. Anyway, now we're gonna bring up. Now we're gonna bring Superman back. Now we're gonna do labors. Some of these was for labors of Hercules, if you want to do that for Muscle Guy. But anyway, so this is labor, toil, to work, to trouble, to think for, reward for, but labor, mainly about working. Labor and toil or pains, work, effort. Here we have is do. So first word, manual labor, toil, work. We have do. Second one is also manual labor or toil, work. I'm not seeing anything else, so let's see. Jodoku, labor, effort, toil. So again, we still got labor in there. Then we have is hiro. Second word, hiro, fatigue, weariness. So, okay, become sick from loyal. So maybe working oneself to sickness, hiro. So labor. So we got school, we got power. Those jocks, here's one story. I don't kind of like it, but it's an okay story. The jocks who always tried to show their muscles off in the schoolhouse are now the ones out there doing manual labors while we sit here to learn Japanese. And I don't know. I don't like the idea of like this. Labor is positive and all that. And again, sometimes you go to school, you want to learn how to put your muscles to use because you get paid real well to use manual labor if you do it in the right way. So anyway, schoolhouse labor. And in schoolhouse, you learn, like, maybe this could be vocational labor. In this case, you put your strength to use in order to do more heavy lifting for the jobs that require heavy lifting, but you still needed training to do it. So you still need training, like mechanics. You still got to go to school, learn about fixing cars, but strong power and labor. So here, if you want to also do the Superman. So here's the labor, Superman. Yes, he was very powerful, and to learn how to do his work, put his work to good use, he went to school. In this case, the Fortress of Solitude from his crystals of his father, and learned more about how to, laboring with his mind and his muscle. So, schoolhouse. Next, let's see. We've got power, male, labor. Okay, so let's get rid of here. Alright, so here we go. So let's just make sure this is Superman, or power. Power. And now we want to do labor. So we want to do schoolhouse. So think about labor, schoolhouse. And then you think, so maybe Superman going to the schoolhouse to labor his mind, since he didn't have to labor his power of his strength. So he still had to train his mind. The strength came naturally. Next kanji, recruit. So it looks like we're in the happy graveyard and we're using power for recruit. So this is to recruit, campaign, gather, contributions, enlist. Here's enlist something. So recruit to enlist. Let's see, grow violent. Yeah, okay. See, sunodu, I don't know that word. Here we have is bakin, or bokin, fundraising, collection of funds. Boshu, boshu, recruiting, taking applications. That's usually see this outside of stores that they're hiring people. They're accepting applications now. Obo, subscription or an application. All right, cool. So yeah, recruit, hire, gather, enlist. Let's see. Strong men are recruited into the army. Unfortunately, they may end up in an early entrance to the graveyard. So anyway, that was a happy graveyard. There's a strong man. Let's see. Happy graveyard and Superman. I guess you can think of maybe he's recruiting an army of the dead. I don't know. Solomon Grundy, I think, is also at the happy graveyard. He was like sort of like a famous corpse. I don't know. Anyway, so here we go. Labor, recruit, graveyard, or happy graveyard, and power. Oh, and there's also one where Superman, I think the death of Superman. So maybe you could say during the death of Superman, when Superman was at the happy graveyard, so there was a happy graveyard in Superman, they had to recruit other people to take over Superman's part. So let's do happy graveyard. So we got the flowers, we got the flowers in the sun. It's going to be a little more, bit more compacted. And then the dog's going to be a bit more distorted than normal. Kind of like with dog's going to be a little bit more distorted. And then, of course, there's so think of recruiting to replace Superman, because Superman is now in the graveyard. In fact, it's, I don't want to give spoiler alert, but that was in the comic book, which had the death of Superman right there. That was about 20 or so years ago, and then they finally did a movie similar that kind of played on that and whatnot. But anyway, so graveyard and Superman, recruit. Okay, next kanji. Now we have his toil. So we have that guy, woman, crotch, and power. So remember we had it for angry, now we have for toil. Diligent, as much as possible. So don't confuse it with labor. So this is toil. Let's see, yume. Never, by no means. That's interesting. So, Sutomeru, sutomeru. Doryoku, doryoku. Great effort, exertion, endeavor. So toil. So don't confuse toil with labor. So toil. Toil in the soil. Toil in the... Here we go. Guy in power. To reach a position of power in the company, the average guy has to toil very hard for years. So here I have a woman. So maybe Superman, toil. So he had to toil for, you know, Lois Lane's heart. So there's the woman. You know, in this case, it has to be Wonder Woman. Toiled for Wonder Woman's... toiled for the level Wonder Woman, but also maybe he was a guy. He had hormones, so he also interested in her crotch, and had to also go against her power. So, you know, if you want to do toil and work, you know, maybe it's like or a guy uses his power to toil in the field in order to these things he really wants to be attracted to, which is women and crotches. If you want to do that way. All right, recruit, inferiority, achievement, persuade. Here we are, toil, guy and muscle or power. Okay, so toil. Toil, you want to toil for a woman, you want to toil for crotches, sure. And also, but the biggest thing to toil, though, you're going to have to use a lot of power. So there's Superman, using a lot of power. Yeah, Superman, Wonder Woman, and crotch, toil. Yeah, you know, they never toil for each other. There's some stories where they end up getting together in a comic book. Add. So this is power and mouth. Add. So this is add, addition, to increase, join, include. Also as a abbreviation for the Canada, or a symbol for Canada. Kanji symbol for Canada. So let's see. Kuwaeru. Let's see. Ka. Addition, increase. Kuwawaru. I don't know that. Let's see. We got kanyu. Becoming a member, joining, entry, admission into something. Okay. Adding oneself to it. Kagen, addition and subtraction. So adding and reducing, or increasing and reducing. Allowance for degrees, extent, state of health. There's lots of meanings here. Tsuika, addition, supplement, append. So yeah, I heard this word earlier. It's like, but yeah, to add something like, you know, put stuff on a dish. Tsuika, tsuika. So here we have is Superman and Mal. So I always like this scene, like we can think of Superman. He's someone who's of great power, but he doesn't want to use his power. He always wants to use logic and reasoning for people, to get them to do the right thing. He's not trying to scare or intimidate. In fact, he wants to say, make sure that they don't depend on his power. You know, they depend on the word of his mouth. You know, and talking. So in this case, add. You can say he wanted to add to the conversation. You want to add to the discussion. Add, not with his power, but actually with his ideas to improve people, so they can improve themselves. You know, be inspired by what he added to the thing, not to depend only on him. So here we have is toil, encourage. Here we have add. This is the only case a primitive form also appears on the left. Should note the fact in composing stories. So yeah, and this thing is, yeah, when you start seeing on the left of things, yeah, I don't think it's a. There we go. Okay, so here we have is add. So think of Superman. There's Superman. He's going to use. He adds to the story by what he says. It's not about, because again, when it's coming about his power, they're always going to try to, make a stronger monster. That's why. But when it has to do with his discussion or ideals, and it's more interesting because now it's dealing with him talking, trying to say why this is the best way. Discussion. In fact, him and Bruce Wayne, or he and Batman, just always are at odds on how to best deal with crime. Next kanji. Threaten. So you got the triceps and the three Supermen and the body. So here's threaten. Last time we saw that was for cooperation. So now we have the opposite of that, threaten. To threaten or coerce. So it's a little bit different than cooperation, coercing. Let's see. Odokasu, odosu, obiyakasu. I don't know those words. Kyohaku. Let's see what we have here. Yeah. Kyohaku, threat, menace, coercion. Yeah, there we go. Here we have kyoi. Not seeing it. There it is, fourth word. Kyoi, threaten or menace. Alright, so way of saying here is threaten. Compare the primitives of trice. Let's see, what is that, side or armpit? With armpit to and this. Triceps get rest alongside the body, fit snugly against your armpit. When you hold them up above your body, Okay, so it's like posing your arms, your muscles, your triceps above your body is like in a fighting posture becomes threatening. So you can say the 3 Superman here, 3 powers could be triceps, you know, triceps of your arms, and in this case threatening your body. So armpits, triceps by the body covers your armpits, and then up above the body means you're in a fighting pose to threaten somebody. I like that. Here we go. So we got congratulations. So we got add. Congratulations. That's the, by the way, that's in a city name I live in. That's Kav Yokosuka. Erect. Armpit. Kind of mentioned that earlier. And then what you have is threatened. Here's cooperation or something. So again, this is where we might see tricep, or yeah, right there, muscles on top of muscles. So let's look on that real quick. So we're saying triceps. It's doing the big kanji here, and then the 2 smaller ones underneath it. All right. And so that's triceps. So right now what we want to do is threaten. What they had said before. Do the triceps. Do the triceps. And again, these are triceps that are formed above, raised above the body. And when you want to threaten somebody, you put your arms above your, put your dukes up if you need to think about it like that. And then there's the body, because this is, again, you're going to be being threatening with your body against the other person's body. Next kanji. Restore. This is the one compared to auto, or before, or in the rear or behind or something. Later. So this is restore, to return to, revert, resume. Some words that use this. Mata, again, also, still. A different type of mata. Fukatsu. Revival, musical revival. Comeback, restoration, rebirth. Okay, that's a good one. Ofuku. Round trip, coming and going. Return ticket. Alrighty. So live and return. Interesting. Retribution, revenge. Okay, hofuku. Retribution, revenge. So I guess restore something to status quo. You gotta get revenge. Let's see, anything else? I'm not seeing it. But yeah, so it sounds like it's pronounced as fuku or something, but okay, restore. So we got the Spartan soldiers, and they want, let's say they've been in a big fight, so they want to lay down for the day to restore, and if they can't do that, then you can put them on little walking stilts in order to make sure, maybe like carrying them on stilts, you know, little stilts done as armies as a stretcher, you know, and help them lay down even longer so they can restore a little even better throughout the march of the day. So yeah, restore. The army column, or the Spartans here, double, to prevent a total rout in this case, they double back, in other words, get back in to restore their defenses compared to auto. So this is another one where it's like double back, it means go back on. So when you see the Spartans, and what do you need to do, if I heard the saying like fall back, you need to fall back and restore the line. So that way you're losing there, but you need to fall back into a better position, maybe gather up your people, you know, and then form a new line in order to, you know, keep fighting. So that's another way, restore the line, you know, so you need to fall back or double back in this case. So lay down for, I like the idea of restoring like a recovery. Let's see, we got cooperation, going, so there's this where we got the Spartans again. Rhythm, restore, here's the restore. So again, we're going to have the Spartan soldiers, and also we're going to have right over here is the little billboards. So anyway, so right now we're going to do restore. So here we got the Spartan soldiers. All right, and after a big fight, they need to restore their things. So they want to lay down, and preferably for a day. You know, and maybe if it need be, you know, lay down even longer because they still got to move. So put them on little walking stilts here. That could be the consider that like a visual for stretchers. If you want to use Gandalf in there, you can say Gandalf uses his magic to make them, to heal them up even better, because he's got some stuff in his pockets or something that can, like magical, can help him out. All right, and that's Fuku. Okay, next kanji. Now we have his gain. So again, we got, looks like, yeah, we got a few things happening here. So this is, let's see, Uru or Eru. To get, to acquire, to obtain. So gain, to acquire stuff. So we had to get, to find, earn. can, able, profit, advantage, benefit, gain. So uru and eru, it looks like tokui, first word, triumph, prosperity, so gaining of something right there. One's forte is specialty. Okay, yeah, so you hear tokui. I've heard that word before. Toku, understanding, comprehension, grasp. Okay. Sontoku, loss and gain, advantage and disadvantage. That's interesting. So damage and gain. So damage and gain, loss and gain. Interesting. Here we have a column of soldiers. So there's the Spartans. So there you got the Spartans get up at night break. So this means when the sun rises up above the ground, that's night break instead of daybreak, when the night's over. And chase down the enemies whose trail they have remained glued to, and thus gain on them. So you can like gain, or maybe it's like as they're traveling since nighttime, they don't want to lose stuff. They want to, everything they pick up on their travels, they can glue to their body. And that's what they get to keep what they gain. So everyone say gain out. So I like the idea though of gaining on the enemy. So you got to get up early, chase down maybe wherever that story went to. Let's go with. So here he has gain, column, night break, and glue. Let's gain on them. Alright, so there's a Spartan, so gain. We got to gain on them. So there's a Spartan soldier, so they had probably rested or recovered, right? So now the sun is rising over the sky, so night break. We'll do this in two parts. So there's the sun. That's around night break. And what they want to make sure is that, okay, they're tracking down the enemy. And they want to track down the enemy, so they're sticking to them like glue. And then they're going to gain all the possessions of those enemies because they want to use it against in the battles to come. So if you want to say gain or something, gain on them to gain their equipment. Gain. Next kanji. Accompany. So again we have veterinarian. I'm going to consider that the veterinarian. Mending of animal horns. So anyway, here we have is accompany. Shitagao. Ju, subordinate, secondary, junior. So accompany. So this could be to accompany, to obey, submit to, comply, to follow. There you go. Secondary, incidental. So accompany along. It's not the main. It's not the main. It's the branch. It's the assistance. So you have shitagao, shitagaeru. I don't know those words. Let's see. Juji. First word. Engaging, pursuing, following. There we go. Profession. Following a profession or occupation. That's kind of a nice word. Let's see. Jujun. First and second word. Let's see. First word. Obedient, gentle, and meek, submissive to it. Okay. Fukuju. Obedience, submission, resignation. First word. And let's see. Shoyo. Not seeing it. Okay. Fourth word. Shoyo. Calm, composed, tranquil. And let's have Ju Gurai. Ju something. I don't know. I don't see that word. So accompany. As it may be one time primitive, don't worry memorizing, but seeing animal horns in men makes me think of veterinarian. Anyway, the army column, short of doctors, want veterinarians to accompany them to treat injuries. Or it could be it's like you need to make sure the veterinarian to take care of horses, and maybe in a pinch they can also take care of people. But you definitely want veterinarians to accompany you if you're having animals in your army, in your Spartan army. Okay, so here we have is gain, accompany. So yeah, you want to accompany. So what do you want? So you got to accompany. You want the Spartan soldiers. They need to have that veterinarian accompany them, because so think of animal horns for a veterinarian. And a veterinarian, what he does is mending things that have animal horns. So there's the mend or fixing. So that's accompany. Next kanji. That's let's see, Ju. And now we have his journey. Now don't confuse this with to live, because that's what Batman is, live. So this is a journey, going out somewhere, kind of like Iku. Journey, chase away, let go, travel, and growing. So let's see, words that use this. Ofuku. So this is, remember, like come back or restore. So like to go out and come back, round trip, coming and going, return ticket. Okay. Odai, coming and going, road correspondence, street traffic. Okay, and then we have is Kyosho, medical history, anamnesis. That's a new one for me. And then we have Osho. Is there a word for it? There is not. Okay. There we go. Let's see what Isaac got. Let's see. Here we have his journey. Think of Carl. So here you have his Lord. So there you got the journey of the Spartan soldiers on to maybe do the work of their Greek Lord, or Leonidas himself, like the Lord Leonidas, or the leaders of the Spartan leaders that helped to help take care of the journey in order to take on the cause of the Greek lords. Think of army columns, where the army columns went on the old went on a journey to a holy land on a mission of the Lord. You can do it as that itself. There's other ways of thinking of this story. And that could be the candlestick, that when you're on a journey, they all had to hold candlesticks so they could travel by day and night, because they, again, they're like superhuman in their ability to. Okay, so we have a company, junior, wait, journey. So there we go, journey. Alrighty. And again, don't confuse it with this is dwell or to live. So what we want to do is journey. So again, journey, the journey of the Spartans. Think of the Spartans. All right, and they're on a journey in order to fulfill the needs of their Lord. This could be the Greek lords. All right. Sorry. Alright, so Greek Spartans, Greek lords. Journey. Next kanji. Here we have is penetrate. Oh, okay, this is going to be kind of good. So this is again babysitter. Penetrate, babysitter. You can bring up something sexual there, I guess. But anyway, so this is penetrate, to clear, pierce, strike home, sit up all night. But okay. Let's see what we have here. No words there. So here we have is tete, thoroughness, completeness. Okay. Tetsuya, tetsu, all night visual, sleepless. So I guess penetrate into the night. Okay. Kontetsu, all night or sleepless night. Seems like all these are about sitting up all night. Okay, I'm not seeing words for penetrate, but anyway, we're going to consider the kanji. Anyway, the key word here is penetrate. If it needs to stay up, pull an all-nighter, then use that if you need to, but penetrate. Tetsu. So we got penetrate. We got Spartans, baby, flesh, or infant, flesh, and taskmaster, or babysitter, or to bring up, and then babysitter. So the Spartans, or you say the army column, could not penetrate the enemy line, as the enemy had been brought up by a wily taskmaster, clever in the ways to stop army columns from penetrating. So if could be, if he also want to do is stay up late, like you want to do the penetrate the night, stay up late. Like the Spartan armies could not stay up late to complete their battle. They couldn't penetrate their armed line because they only paid the babysitter till 10 o'clock at night. So they had to go back home to take since the babysitter couldn't stay up all night. They have to go back to raise their infant on their own. You can do that as well. Okay, anyway, so we got journey, subjugate, diameter, duty, that's a good one, benevolence. Here we have is penetrate. Whew. Okay, so penetrate all night long. Cannot penetrate all night. So the Spartan soldiers cannot penetrate the opposing army all night long because they're infants that they've been raising. Because again, remember about the big thing about raising babies is really important. Unfortunately, we're only paid till maybe 8 o'clock in the evening, so they had to go back home and get back to the babysitter. Now they had to take care of the baby themselves, so they put the battle on hold. So column, infant, flesh or body, raise, and then taskmaster, and then total is babysitter. Next kanji. Alright, this this is where things get a little weird. And this is up to you. So see right here, this is up to you, by the way. So when you see something like this, you see here's army columns, or this is Spartans, and then right here you have Taskmaster. Now what you can do, and then usually something's happening in here. So if you want, this could be the opposing army. That this is a Spartan army. So this whole thing is like their little battle in 300 against the Persians. So you want this could be the Persian army, and then something's happening with the Persian army. So here was the Persian army, and to penetrate the Persian army, what they probably did is they put little infants and in between their walls of flesh of the other soldiers in order to prevent the Spartans from wanting to attack or killing a bunch of babies. And well, if you want to keep that story, whatever. So that's if you want to use this as the Persian army as opposed to the army of the 300 Greeks. So this is their opposing army is because there's the slave masters, army of slaves. So here we have his indications. This is the reason why I'm bringing up this. So this could be a sign, an omen, a symptom. Indications. Collect, seek, refer to, questions. So here we have a shirushi, a mark, a symbol, evidence, so an indication. Okay. We have his choshu, a collection or a levy. Is there any other words? Looks like the third word there. Choshu, levying or recruitment. Indications of work. Tokucho. First word, feature, trail, or characteristic. Not seeing anything else. And we have his shocho. First word, a symbol. So indication, symbol, mark. So what he says is conscripted army, army column, and taskmaster. So I was saying like that could be the Persian army as opposed to the 300 army. Went to block the attack of the mountain king, as there was indication he was on the move. So it's like mountain and king. So maybe you had the Persians move because they had the mountain kings coming in. Maybe the Greek mountain king was coming in to help with the battles. They had indications to believe that, so they had to reform their lines to help against not only the 300 but now the army of the mountain king. You could do that however you want to do it. See, there was the king of the mountain. It was a weird battle they did. Indications. So line, mountain, king, taskmaster, and line is Persian or the 300. Okay, so indications. All right, indications. So here he had the Spartan soldiers saw indications of the Persians are going to attack. All right, so maybe they had to go talk to the mountain king to get permission. Climb the mountain and talk to the kings, or in this case, it was also the prophets or whatnot, the seers or those priests, to say get permissions to attack. All the while, there we have is the Persian army was on the move. The indication of the Persian armies are still on the move, regardless. So you can do, again, you can think of the story in all sorts of ways. There's nothing, but anyway, indications: Spartans, mountain, king, and then taskmaster. In this case, Persian army. Persian army. I know I use that for Indiana Jones. Indications. All right, delicate. Again, we have the Persian army here, or 300 in Indiana Jones. However you want to do that. Delicate. Here we have also the mountain and. Okay, so delicate, minuteness, insignificance. Here is a B, minuteness, 1/1,000,000th, very small amount. There are no words here, so we're just going to have to go. There you go. Let's see what they have here. Let's see. They have B, Kasuka. Alright, those are the two words they're showing. B, minuteness, 1/1,000,000th. Ever heard the saying, so the mountain decided to come to Muhammad. So Muhammad would not go to the mountain, so the mountain decided to come to Muhammad. So use this delicate phrase to see that the conscripted army acted as one pair of delicate human legs to bring them out. Okay, so I guess you can imagine delicate. Like imagine like what is it, Xerxes? How delicate Xerxes looked, because he's essentially his throne was like a mountain being carried on the legs of all these slaves. He just looked all frail and delicate in his jewelry and whatnot. Yeah, okay, that works. Sure, delicate. So think of delicate. Think about the delicate Xerxes. So delicate. So think it's in the movie 300. So there's the 300 Spartans right now, and they saw the little mountain coming toward them. It was actually King Leonidas saw that mountain. It was actually his throne, and on that throne was covered. Let's make sure I get the stroke order here correct. Okay, so we're going to actually bring up the stroke order now. Let's see. Here we are. So 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it means, you know, almost like a one set of legs, set of human legs. Okay, so in fact I'll do this in small 3 parts. Yeah. Okay, there's the one. So it almost looks like wind, but it's not. And then of course we'll finish it off with the Taskmaster, and that's Xerxes himself. That's okay. So here we have our indications. Penetrate. Indications. And this was delicate. So you can see the visual stories. You might need to make sure about, you know, how that word, when you hear it, and it brings up the story. So what I'm using may not be good enough. You may have to create your own on these because of the complexities going on here. Alright, so delicate. Now we have his extent. So we're coming up on wheat now, and it looks like mouth and king. So let's find out extent. Degree, the law, formula, distance, limits, the amount. So the extent of something, limits of something, amount of something. Here we have his hodo, degree, extent, bounds. Not a hodo. Okay, hodo. Other words it uses. Teido, degree, amount, grade. Okay, to the extent of something. Nite, schedule, program. So the extent of of what's got to be done for the day. Nite. And then finally, kate. Looks like third and fourth word. Course or curriculum, or the process. Kate. Alright, so extent. The extent to which some people go to create wheat displays, or as some call them, crop circles, is truly amazing. So, okay, extent. Also says like to the degree of, like the extent of how many wheat fields. You ever seen, like usually on TV it's like you want to show Kansas, you show the extent of how far away the wheat fields go. Your mouth is like, right here is also going to show display, which is mouth on a king, which we're going to say is like a TV display. Let's see what Heisig shows real quick. So it's 894. Okay, so we got benevolence, penetrate. Here's indications. Now we have penal, delicate. There's delicate, so we got penal and delicate. Boulevard, full kanji, equilibrium, Buddha. So here we got wheat. Alright, so we're bringing in wheat here. And this, like I said, if you want to do for wheat, you can also think of Cheerios, as your primitive. Alright, so some people like to use the cereal, or Cheerios in particular. It could be Wheaties, the one with the sports and players on it, however you want to do it, some type of cereal. And then let's keep going. This is draft, earnings, extent, wheat and display. Don't confuse it with extremity or boundary. Extent. So what they're saying for display, what was happening is you have mouth, right there, and then over there was king. What he was trying to do is call this like think of it like a TV display, if need be. Or there's a stand, there's a little TV on top of it. If you don't like that, so you can see the extent of the wheat fields. Let's do the extent of the wheat fields, or Cheerios, or maybe Wheaties. You can see the extent of how much wheat is grown for Wheaties. You can see like the extent, because you have to feed all the mouths that belong to. And then you can see right there the mouths of all the king, that the king ruled over. So that could be the extent of the wheat that can fit all the mouths of the kingdom. There's the kingdom. Extent, wheat, mouth, king. I don't really like TV display is okay, but yeah, we'll keep it with wheat mouth. So extent, to the degree. Formula, distance, amounts. How much amount? Extent, amount. I think that's the last kanji for today. Yep, so that's the last kanji for this lesson. It's been about 40 minutes or so. I'm going to have to go do the reviews real quick, but let's... Okay, so let's look at that. So we got extent here. Indication, yep, there it is. Boom, boom, boom. Wheat mouth too. Oh, boy. Let's do this. Alrighty. Alright, we're 2 hours 34 minutes into the stream. We did have 2 lessons covered today, so we're up to 53, so we got 74, 21 more lessons to go. Up to 74, and then we're off to grammar, and however long that's going to take. Hopefully it's a shorter, part 3 grammar is going to be a little shorter, especially for a dictionary of basic Japanese grammar, because there's only, I think, 100 sentences or so. Let's skip over a bit. Okay, I think I put away this. Don't have to have my... Alrighty, let's do it. What do we got? Alright, let's learn it. Okay, gigantic. Remember, don't confuse it with that retainer or a slave. Repel, so that's the fingers, gigantic fingers that are gigantic can repel off anybody. Maybe I'm thinking of Attack on Titan. So yeah, usually for gigantic here, I'm just going to imagine Attack on Titan, and same with repel. You see a little gigantic fingers of the giant repelling the survey corps. There's the labor. There's toiling, and there's recruit. It's like the death of Superman at the graveyard, so they recruited more Superman to take his place. Labor. There's school. Labor in school. Labor in the field. You know, build your mind and your body to help labor both in the labor market. Recruit. As more people go into the graveyards, maybe you got to recruit more powerful people. You know, more power to replace those that have passed away in the graveyard. Repel. Refuse, reject. Toil. Diligent, much as possible. Stomeru. Yeah. Stomeru. Toil. Repel. Alrighty. Recruit. Toil. Repel. Fingers of the giant repel. Cyclops, I think of it. I always think of Cyclops. Labor. School and power. Labor in school, labor in the gym. Recruit. That's the graveyard and power. Graveyard and Superman. Giant, gigantic. Kyo, kyo. Labor. Ro, ro. Right there. Labor Party. Sure. Toil. Yeah. Women must toil. I guess you can think of biblical for toil on that one. There was like the curse of Eve versus the curse of Adam. Gigantic. Toil. Recruit. Gigantic. Repel. Fingers of the giant. Refuse, reject, decline. Labor. Think for, reward for, toil and trouble. Repel. Fingers of the giant. Refuse, reject, decline. Recruit. There's a happy graveyard there as well, but different having. Yep. Sonoru. King. Obo. Gigantic. Giant. Cyclops. Gigantic Cyclops. Toil. Boil, boil, toil and trouble. Labor. Toil. Another thing about toil, if I want to do with power again, is the idea about the Spartans. They had a respect of about the men who died in battle and the women who died in childbirth, because they considered giving birth as just as difficult as going to battle. It was just as deadly. So they had great honor to women who had given birth. So that could be right there. The toils of women is about giving birth with their crotch. It's incomparable to the toils of men who had to, again, fight with power. If you want to bring up that story as well for toil. Gigantic. Recruit. Happy Graveyard Superman. Labor. Schoolhouse Superman. Labored in the schoolhouse because all brains, all brawn, no brain. Although Superman's again genius level. There's the levels. Getting there. Team learning. Add. Okay, threaten. Okay, raise your triceps up. Add. And if you want calorie, this is somebody that said also ka, and this is like ka and rodol. So they say add calories or calories. If you want to do a play of the here of the katakana, that's an option as well. Threaten. This is restore. You could also do restore the lines, right? Like say restore to the way they were, restoring their strength. Gain. Get gain on them. I just think of gain on them, but you also gain as an add or. So there's add. Restore. Restore the lines. Double back. Spartans double back to restore their lines. Gain. Alrighty, get up at night break. Stick to the enemy like glue so you can gain their weapons to them. Let's see, this is restore. Add. Karori. Gain. Accompany. So there's the to need orns and to mend. Veterinarian. Restore. Threaten. Company. Where is there? Gain. Threaten. There's the triceps and the body. Accompany. Accompany. Gain. Acquire. Able. Profit. Ability. Threaten. Coerce. Add. Addition. Increase. Join. And also Canada. Canada. Threaten. There. This is restore. Add. Accompany. Threaten. Here. Yeah, so that's triceps and body. Gain. So that's Spartans. Nightbreak glue. Restore. Spartans. Lay back for a day. Gandalf. Lay down for a day. Accompany. Spartans and veterinarian. Horns mend. Gain. Spartans. Nightbreak glue. Where are you at? Gain. Oh, there it is. Glue gun. Add. Karori. Karo. And also Superman and Mouth. I guess Kato is okay. Company. Restore. Spartans. Lay down for a day. Here we go. Restore the lines. Double back and restore the lines. Okay, that's the next set of 5. What else we got? We got 5 more to go, and we'll be calling it a day. Wasn't too bad. Continue learning. Journey. Okay. Spartans and Lord. Penetrate. Spartans and Babysitter. Or, if you want to, the Persian army and raising infants. So, okay. That could also be cool. Journey. Penetrate. Spartans bring up. And Taskmaster. Spartans and Babysitters. Indications. Okay, so this is a Persian army. Mountain King. Indications. Okay. Ooh. Indications that, okay, that was on that mountain was the king was on top of that mountain, that throne mountain. I can do that. That's Persian. I can do that. Okay, I can do that. Yeah, keep that same symbolism for the Persian army when Xerxes was appearing, instead of waiting at the. Yeah. Okay, I'll go with that. So I was just thinking about that throne that Xerxes was on top of that was being carried by all the slaves. I was thinking that like big as a mountain. It was like essentially it was like the appropriate throne for that Xerxes king, for the Persian king. I mean, delicate, but you find out like how delicate and weak he looked. Indications. Okay, so that was the mountain, so Persian army, but the mountain on legs. Yeah. No, Mountain King. And then, it's delicate is the mountain legs. Delicate. Okay. Alrighty, so this is penetrate. Although a lot of these words are about staying up all night. Extent. That's the extent of all the wheat in order to feed the mouths of the kingdom. All the mouths in the kingdom. Extent. Also degree, law, formula, distance, amounts or limits. Limits or amounts. Alright. Although, to the degree. Okay. So that's journey. Chase away, let go, traveling. Extent. So that's the Spartan. Oh, that's the wheat, mouth, and king. Okay, so that's the indications. Sign, omen, symptoms, and indications. Refer to the question. Journey. So that's the Spartans going out for the Lord, the Greek lords. Penetrate, so that's the Spartan. Bring up, so that means Spartans brought up babies to help penetrate the Persian army line. Sure, okay, I can go with that. Penetrate. Yeah, that stay up late. Sure, you want to do that as well. Extent. Law, formula, distance. Delicate. Minuteness, insignificance. Indications. So that's the Mountain King. Indications. There was indication that mountain was actually carrying the king. Delicate. Yeah, the mountain also was very delicate. Imagine one guy dropped that part, man. They'd all get crushed underneath that thing. That would hurt. That would be annoying. Penetrate. Pierce. Clear. Strike home. Sit up at night. Indications. Omens or a sign. Question. Collect. Yeah, omen signs or something. Penetrate. Stay up late. There we go. Indications. Indications that mountain was actually a throne because the king was on top of it. Persian king was on top of it. Oh, but it was so delicate. It looked impressive, but it was so delicate. It could be destroyed with just taking out a couple of the people holding it up. Indications. Indications. Yeah. That was the Mountain King again. There we go. Journey. Oh, sure. Delicate. Yeah, right there. Extent. Alright, that's the Mountain King again. No. This is Wheat, Mouth, and Kingdoms. There we go. Delicate. There we go. Okay, journey. Okay, journey. We almost done? Yeah, a couple more. That's the extent of something. Penetrate. Journey. Extent. Extent. Wheaties, Mouth, and King. Alright, that took a little longer than it should have. That's fine. Alrighty, that should do it. So we started at hour 52. We're now at 2 hours and 52 minutes. That's interesting. So I guess it was a 50 minutes. Took 50 minutes to cover it, and then finish this up. That is kind of interesting. It's all good. Let us. Alright, so this is what's left. Come on. So it's a new week. We have no reviews worried about, so we're just gonna either do 1 or 2 tomorrow. See, I kind of screwed up here. 300 events today. It's a 3-hour mark. It's been fun. Let's see what else we got. Bring up some stories. French, geography. Yeah, nothing new there. Do a refresh here. Refresh here. And also delete that entry I did. And let's see what Kohi has to offer. Okay, let's see. We have Yukio Mishima, Aaron's Challenge, which is that's a pretty good thing for learning Japanese in itself. I don't use it now, but it's an option. Got some pretty good material for it. Netflix Japanese. They're starting to. One guy was able to get all the subtitles formed and make them in a text file. So it went from hard-coded subtitles or with PNG files and got them into a text OCR optical character recognition, and was able to get some get the subtitles into a text format, which is SRT format. Mighty Morphomorphology, no clue. Let's see what else we got. I remember reading a post explaining, but I can't seem to finally express the fact that I'm ethnically Chinese but holding Canada's citizenship. Straight up translation, need help with trying to communicate Hello Talk partner. Thought I'd ask here. I lost all my chat history on Hello Talk. Is it redundant to use Ichiban Saikin? Refer most recent time. Genki, blah 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 blah. Okay, let's delete this. Yes, I am sure. It's done its job for the day. And yeah, there's nothing here. Looks like something about, that was from What was he saying? All the same stuff, so nothing really new there. Alright, and finally is Mumble, or sorry, Discord, and looks like there's this generic chit chat happening right there. Boy. Man, 3 hours. Huh, fun. I'm kind of tired right now. I know I got to go to college in about an hour or so, but okay. So it was fun. Sorry about missing the weekend. I did do reviews on the weekend, but I didn't do any streaming. And again, save the kanji portion for this for the stream itself. So when we get back tomorrow, it should be about 30 characters. Have to at least 30 characters I have to fit in, plus whatever else is reviewing. Again, 20 lessons left, so it could be anywhere from probably 2 to 3 weeks, just depending on how many I can cover up. Because sometimes I won't be able to do 2 lessons a day. That's fine. Should be good. And that's just again, just keep at it. Just you know what you got to do. Keep at it. Keep hammering away, a little bit at a time. It will add up over time, especially when you start using Japanese for fun. You know, watch TV shows in Japanese. You know, read books in Japanese. Just whatever. Just try to move into using Japanese as much as possible. Don't let the only time you work with Japanese be when you're studying. All right, it's about enjoying it, making that part of your life. Otherwise, it's in a radically different way of language is used as opposed to English. It's not like with Spanish or French where you can probably row back and forth to each other. It's really different. It's probably why if you do learn language, if you want to learn an Asian language, probably Chinese would be easier than Japanese or Korean, just because of at least Chinese is a lot closer to how in English and German. From what I heard, I'm only going off reports. I don't really know myself personally. All right, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow.